I'd gone down to a meeting in London and come home, and it had gone from Cadwell to Isle of Man. It was potentially going to be live. And I came home and I said to my dad what we were doing, and he just said to me, he went, "But you can't wheelie." And I was like, "Well, I'll have to learn." He went, "Well, you can't even wheelie to end of my drive, and it's only about 500 yards." But he was absolutely right. I couldn't wheelie to end of his drive.
You're going to be Hill, you're going to be Hopkins, and they cross the line. It's Hill by 6 thousandths of a second.
The Outside Line Podcast, reuniting your hosts, the legendary commentary duo of Jack Bernicle and James Whittam.
But he's not on the right side of him unless he can do it. Oh no! Round the outside! Oh, what a move!
The Outside Line Podcast, powered by LS2 helmets.
Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Outside Line Podcast. I'm Jack Bernicle. I've got Mr. James Whittam and his wonderful dog Sprout alongside me. And we're about to be joined by a rather special guest from the world of trials, a sport that Mr. James Whittam is well associated with as a competent club rider of long standing.
Yeah, I love my trials, but to be honest, the guest we've got is basically royalty in terms of trials riding. Definitely the best trials rider we've ever produced in this country. And when he was about 12 or 13, I was on some local club trials around the Yorkshire area, and he would turn up on basically a kid on a kid's bike and smoke everybody. And even before you knew what he would become, you knew you were seeing something fairly special, and it turned out to be more special than we all thought.
A man who would subsequently, in 2000, be awarded an MBE by His Majesty Prince Charles.
Yep.
Please, will we welcome the 12-time world champion, Mr. Dougie Lampkin.
Go on, Doug.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Douglas, dear boy, nice to see you.
How are you doing?
You get
Very
the big
well.
chair.
Please take the main seat. Looking very, very well, Dougie. You're obviously...
Yeah, you get the sprouty well.
It comes with a job, does it?
Yeah, every guest gets that.
He likes the
mate.
guests. He likes the guests. He gave me a great welcome last night.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad at all.
Busy?
Not bad at here. Busy as usual, yeah. Plenty of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Lads are both riding now. World Enduro Championship, World Trials Championship.
Yeah.
I'm still doing a bit.
Who's doing the better? Where's Fraser and where's...
Fraser's in the World Enduro Championship. He's ridden the Indoor Championship, the Super Enduro, last couple of years.
Yeah.
He's done well in that. He's in the junior class now. He had to miss around because he broke the socket on his finger in one, so that was a bit tricky. And he just rode yesterday, actually, for the first time in 5 weeks. He tore a ligament in his ankle in Finland and had to retire at the GP. So he's doing the indoors and the GPs. And Alfie's doing Trial 2 World Championship, so he's in the second class, and the British Trials Championship. So yeah, we are everywhere at the moment. We're spread thin. I thought I was retiring, but it's not just happened yet.
And there's not just you, because talking at Uncle Arthur's funeral recently, talking to James, he's having to race off with his lad doing
his eldest lad's doing trials, and Will, he's not really been doing trials that long, but he's now minding for Alfie in the World Trials Championship and the British Championship. And James's youngest, Max, he's riding enduro as well, so he's starting to do the British Championship. So it's weird.
The Lampkin name is confirmed forevermore. The dynasty will go on.
Yeah, James, I rode with Fraser, was away racing in Spain, so he couldn't ride the Scottish 6 days this year, but we all rode together last year, and then this year me and Alfie rode, and James rode with his eldest Will as well, so that was a great ride round. Didn't win, but it was a good ride round, I suppose. As good as it can get.
What position did you finish in the Scottish?
I don't know. Not very good with numbers.
What, unless it's one?
Yeah, I like number one. I'm going to say 10th, but somebody will be writing in, won't they? I can't remember. We'll have to Google it.
But it was not bad for a 50-year-old gentleman.
Yeah, no, I rode okay. I did ride all right. I had a 5 on a tricky one on Monday, which just gets you sulking for a day or two because you know you're not going to win once you win a 5. I shouldn't be even going to win now. a mechanic came over to do my bike before we went, and I'd just been away with Fraser doing his racing and doing various other bits, and I was just checking that he'd done a new piston and wanted a new clutch in and everything. He said, well, you've only done 11 and a half hours on your bike, so it's perfectly running. We're not putting anything on it. Tyre, chain and sprockets, and now we're off. He didn't even change the front pads. So, yeah, no, so I didn't do a lot. But, yeah, I had a good week. It's just brain just wants to win all the time and body's saying, you're bloody joking, basically.
But it's only
that
three.
don't change.
It's only 3 years ago that you won your 14th Scottish. 14th Scottish, and so
Yeah.
you must have been 47 then, even
Yeah.
by my simple maths.
Yeah, no, I've had a good run up there. I missed it for a lot of years in the middle when I rode for Honda, especially.
Yes.
And when I was doing World Championship, we had too many events on. I was doing I got up to 36 indoor trials a year, Spanish Championship and World Championship.
Yes.
So there just weren't enough free time to do it.
Yes.
There weren't enough bikes and mechanics to come with you and go do something completely different.
Yes.
Because obviously no one else was. The factories weren't massively bothered about it. They just wanted the championships.
Have you always enjoyed the Scottish because it's a traditional trial?
I think our family will always enjoy it because it's...
Because of the victories they've enjoyed. 'Cause
Yeah, but
Alan-
also it's always been a big thing for my family. Everyone's always ridden it. Uncle Arthur always wants a Lampkin riding in it and in the Scott trial as well.
Yeah.
So we've always gone there all our life. When we were kids, we had a week off school to go and watch, and yeah.
But you've always won it as well. There's always been a
Yeah,
Lampkin
I just
winning
missed.
it.
I missed from I rode 96, and then I didn't ride again till 2008, I think. So I missed quite a lump in the middle, just concentrating on the World Championships.
Yeah.
But all your dad and both his brothers have won it at different times.
Yeah, no, James was third as well. Yeah, no, we've had some good success. John Boy never managed it. We do wind him up about it.
But and you had who gave you the MBE you got in 2002? Who presented you with that?
Prince Charles at the time. Yeah,
Okay.
that was it's a fair day out, is that?
I should think it is.
Yeah, and came from a really close. Well, he always denied it, but it was true. But obviously, you have to get nominated for things like that. That's how the ball gets rolling. And mine was Colin Appleyard, but he'd never admitted it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
brilliant.
it was him. My dad knew it were him. I don't know quite how he knew, but yeah, he prodded him with it a few times. And obviously, they lived in Silsden, right near where my mum and dad were, only half a mile apart, and spent a lot of time together and everything. And obviously, Colin did a lot for bikes locally.
I was just going to say what a flipping bike bloke he was.
And yeah.
But nationally as well, supported race
I
teams for
supported
years.
riders across all sorts of disciplines and everything. Yeah, and the ball started rolling from him really. So that's where the MBE come. Obviously, at the time when you're a kid, you don't think massively about it. But yeah, no, I remember when Mum and Dad told me about it. I was in the Isle of Man at the time, and they were like, "You've got a letter that says HM Majesty. What have you bloody done? You're in trouble." So I was like, "I'm opening it. Stay on phone." And then he didn't speak, and they had to ring me back.
Brilliant.
It just broke down. They were like, "This is better than winning World Championships." And I was like, "Well, what is it?" You don't think at the time, do you? But yeah.
Good old Mars.
MBE. Never used it much.
I remember you telling me that a long time ago that you were getting pushed. Your mum Isabel was pushing you up pipeline in a pram when you were like 6 weeks old.
Yeah,
at
6
the
weeks
Scottish.
old.
So,
Yeah, well, I was born to 23rd of March, and it's always the first week in May. So
Yeah.
early days. So yeah.
and
Bultaco Chispa waiting for me while my mum were pregnant, because that's who my dad rode for Bultaco, and they gifted my mum a Bultaco Chispa, a little 50cc trials bike, lovely little bike.
was that the one that came off the living room wall, or was that?
Yeah,
a
well, it
different-
was sat on a plinth in the house because obviously it arrived before me.
Yeah.
And I chewed the seat off it when I was teething, so that was... We still have the bike, it's got a new seat on now, but yeah, I rode it for quite a while actually, yeah, we still got that, so yeah, there wasn't much chance of missing out on bikes.
And according to Mr. Whittam, you were already an impish little intruder into kind of local club, proper grown-up club trials and things when you were a kid.
Yeah, it was strange, I didn't ride that much. My parents had the pub above Pateley Bridge, the Miners' Arms, and they were really busy in there, really working hard in there. Dad was obviously riding for Bultaco, and then they went bankrupt. They owed him quite a lot of money, and then he sort of started working and ended up with a pub, and they were busy. We were going to events, but until about 12, I probably played more golf than rode a motorbike, but we were still doing all the club trials. And obviously that's when...
Yeah, what were you,
James
12 or 13?
Yeah, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I still beat you though, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, God. Yeah, it was. Even then it was quite obvious it was going to be very, very good. But also, within 2 or 3 times, going to 2 or 3 trials that he was doing at that age, everybody just watched him. It was almost like demonstration riding. People knew who you were and what you were going to be. Even then, I thought.
Yeah, it's sort of quite a nice, easier period really, because like now my lads, we've sort of gone through that phase now with Alfie and everything, but when Alfie were coming onto the scene, he had it Lampkin on his back and they're all like, oh,
Yeah.
I never had that. No social media, no Instagram, none of this. I was just you just rocked up to a trial and you read about it on Friday in the Trials of Motocross News and that were about it. So I never really got sort of compared on the way through, unlike what happens now, and it's happened not just with my kids, but with a lot of people's kids and all sorts of sports. And but back in the day, club trials and everything, that's where it all began. Obviously, kickstart and everything. However, I was absolutely bloody useless at it. I was really nervous. I was a very nervous rider, and the kids retired from a few events actually. And that just struggled
just
a bit.
through being nervous?
Yeah, just through being nervous. And then
I can't imagine that.
It all sort of clicked in '93. Went to ride first round of the European Championship just to see where the level was, because obviously you never know until you get there when you. Yeah. You know, you're not been able to watch it online and stuff like that. And I was 6th, I rode awful. And I was 6th, and then I won the next round, ended up winning the championship.
Which an occasion that your father used to get very sentimental about.
The last round.
That's when he realised how good you were.
Yeah,
because did you have something like you were recovering from a broken wrist?
No, my bike got stolen before the last round.
Oh, is that what it was?
And I borrowed, I think it was Takuma Narita's factory bike, which was way too bloody powerful for me. And I calmed it down a bit. And it was a really hard trial, and I was flying on first lap. Everything was great. And then I did the second lap for 1. And I was just like miles in front of everybody. And that's when Dad were like, bloody hell. That were fairly handy under that pressure. And then, I got like slightly better bikes from the factory. Obviously, John was the importer of Beta by then. He started in 87. So I got a little bit of help on a little bit better bike, but obviously in John's team, he already had Steve Colley, and there were people that were like a lot better than me at that time. And then I was just sort of trying to make my way into the championship there, and ended up winning the British round at Hodgson Tower near Preston.
I was there, mate, taking the pictures. It was wonderful.
Which was just like walking on water that day. It was a really funny trial with sort of hill climbs and big turns into them. It was all really rutted.
And I
couldn't do anything wrong.
Really, really spectacular viewing from a spectator's point of view.
It was a great place actually.
And I think
Hodgson Tower.
Hodgson Tower. Yeah. Where sirloin steak was invented, christened by James
Where
the
the bloody hell did that come from?
Henry VIII.
How did he invent a steak?
Excuse me, I have the information down here, dear boy.
The name. I think he means the name.
The name.
No. It was. I have it down here somewhere.
Henry VIII.
James I knighted a loin of beef, sirloin steak, because it was so good.
They didn't realise I were going to learn that this morning.
Every day
in
is a school day.
1617. Do you know what?
Were you born then? He remembers it well.
A year earlier.
Go on, go and sit over there. I don't really do dogs so much. We've got 2 at our house. My wife's going to be going bonkers when she sees me stroking you on here. Hey? Are you all right on there, mate?
If you remember back to Hodgson Towers and that first famous victory, I remember, I'm pretty certain I'm right on this, that world trials was in such a healthy state then. There were 38 entries in the main class. And in more recent times, it struggles to get up to
there were only really one class then. I think there might have been a fair bit more than that. There were only really one class then. There
were a lot of guys riding in the main event.
In my first round I did, which was in Luxembourg in '93, I lost 120 odd or 30 odd. and I was 23rd or 24th, and
Yeah.
the winner was Mark Colomay on 16. So I was a fair way off when I rocked up to the first one,
Yes.
and sort of had to learn quite fast. But then it came quite fast, and I was second in 96. That's when I rode the last round with, when he's in about, I rode with a broken scaphoid in the last round in Belgium
Oh, that's when it was.
to
yes.
beat Jordi Tarras in his final year.
Yes.
So I got second in the championship, and
Behind Colomay.
I led it briefly in America, either America or Canada. I read it for, but yeah, I'd not really worked hard enough to win it, and soon
Because
started losing again.
I did an interview with your dad early on in 96 for Dirt Bike Rider Mag, and he said, he came out with a wonderful expression as, we're going for the win, because if you talk about trying to get in the top 3, you'll finish 3rd. And as far as he was concerned, the only thing to do was to say you were going to win it.
Yeah, no, and I suppose then I wasn't really ready to win the championship. I think getting a taste of sort of leading between, I think I led between America and Canada. I think Colomay might have had a bit of a problem with his bike. I'm not really sure, but I would say I wasn't serious enough to actually win it.
Yeah.
I didn't want just to play myself. You always think you're giving 100%, but when I started losing it, I was like, not quite done my job right here, and then never backed off from the moment we sort of lost the championship and ended up winning nearly every round the following year. So
When you say never backed off, a lot of practicing.
just kept riding, yeah, just never stopped.
Beginning of 96, that's when you started to employ your dad as your minder.
Yeah, he was coming with me everywhere by then, starting to do a lot of indoor trials then as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I needed, but still not on enough money to start of employing people and things like that. So yeah, it turned out to me, my dad and John helping as well. And
He ran a
dragging
news
people from
agent in
everywhere.
Silsden,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
he? And he said, we always used to put a penny on a packet of crisps to sponsor Dougie's European.
No, he bloody newspaper shop, yeah. Because when anyone blobbed on a paper round, me and my brother used to have to go down and do them. So we sometimes doing a couple of paper rounds before we went to school. We're all a bit last minute. And he had an XT500, did my dad, and if we were really in trouble, because of people missing and everything, we used to climb on back
Which
and
one
just
was
keep
that?
dragging papers out of it and keep running down the street and jumping back on down the thing.
Yeah.
XT500 used to just park it up on the side stand. It used to just tick over like, and we'd do Alt Street, popping away, and then he'd run onto it next week, and he'd be blasting round at bloody 6 o'clock in the morning before we could get off. But yeah, no, that's how it was. And then back then you had to get your international license. You needed to be 17 to be able to ride on the road.
Yeah.
And so I had a period of time from exams to then where I couldn't do that. And then there was some people who was coming to the paper shop every morning at like 6:15 and used to get the paper and the cigs and what have you. And they were moaning that his lad hadn't turned in. So all of a sudden I had a bloody job following morning. And I was stood there like this off to Knaresborough Bypass, labouring on Knaresborough Bypass, getting picked up at 6:15 and dropped off at, I don't know, 7:15, something like that.
Building up your impressive physique.
Knackered, yeah, on £3 an hour.
Dougie, a simpleton like myself, who's had the piss ripped out of him for a long time by the Lampkin family. Trials, am I right in thinking, is still fairly basically simple in that if you put your foot down once, you lose in a section, you lose 1 point.
Yeah.
If you foot a few times, you lose 3 points. And if you come to a dead stop, you lose 5.
Yeah.
Except that the rule changed to allow you to stop before attacking really venomous obstacles.
Yeah, that's
the way
a basic rule of thumb, really. Now you can stop, and
Yeah.
it's not penalised, so it's simple. Yeah, you ride through with your feet up, in between the flags. You get a clean for not putting your feet down. The maximum is a 5 if you knock the flag over or you fall over. We actually have knobbles on our tyres, so they're not slicks like everywhere else. It's the slowest bike in the world. It probably does about 40-50 mile an hour if you were really lucky. It's not got a seat, and we run between 4 and 6 psi in the front and rear tyres. And yeah, it's absolutely useless for anything else apart from riding over stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a unique sport, but yeah, one that I've always been involved in. I've never really been that interested in any sort of racing.
Is there any time limit on the time you spend in a section these days?
In a section, yeah, it's normally it's a minute in World Championship, but some national championships a minute and a half, which is probably a little bit better to sort of broaden
Yes.
the field a little bit. But Yeah, no, it's fairly basic is the rules really, and then the indoors is fairly similar apart from you're not allowed to paddle through the sections, you're only allowed sort of three dabs as we call them, 3 feet down, but the rules of that are pretty same, and you have an overall time limit in the outdoors which can be like 5 and 6 hours.
Doug's obviously been at the ice level all his life, but actually there's still quite a thriving club scene where people
big club scene.
Not very good riders at all. I do quite a lot of club trials riding, and it's the best sport. Completely different to any other form of motorcycling. It's road racing, motocross, enduro. It's all anger and speed and aggression and adrenaline. And trials is completely opposite. You have a chat with people when you're waiting to go in. This is not a world
You don't need to know them. You're just turning up to do 3 laps to 12 sections. You bump into a load of folk.
It's the loveliest day out on a bike.
I went up to that Westmoreland club one a couple of years ago to see you meeting.
Yeah, I was a bit angry there.
But there was a really impressive...
Were he under pressure? Were he sulking a bit? Were he under pressure?
No, he was all right. He was cheerful enough then with
I would love to. I mean, it's a little bit out of my depth. It's a bit too hard for me.
Yeah, great club though.
But great club and a lovely run round. It's pouring down.
Typical.
No, it wasn't raining. It wasn't raining that
Oh
day.
no, it was second year. Well, I've got pictures from the year after. We did 2 years on trot. We met the Scottish lads.
Dear old Mike Rapley was the secretary of the whole affair.
I didn't actually ride that bad. That was
You were riding very respectably.
the year after. I had a nightmare.
It was Mick Grant.
That's trials. It's like golf. One day you can be brilliant, and next day you don't know front end from back.
Yeah.
You're best off just putting it down.
Just the most frustrating thing, but brilliant.
You've just reminded me of the earliest Dougie Lampkin thing I've got here.
Oh my word.
That was a Team Screen Art Beta, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Brian
By the way,
Smith,
you were actually born in Steeton.
That's where hospital is.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Airedale,
That explains it.
I'm from Silsden. Don't be getting any mixed up Steeton or anything. I'm from
It's next door, isn't it?
Just had to nip over at River to be born. And
it's next door.
And and it says hobbies: golf, snooker, making money.
Making money.
Even at that age, that must have been 16 or 17.
What's the interview that for?
Pardon?
I would have said
that was a crib sheet.
I would have said making money. Shit, obviously I did, yeah.
It is.
Still like making it. Don't seem just as easy anymore, though.
I remember the boulder dash that finished the day at the tough one. I
know what else going to win that. He was waving a grand in his hand, wasn't he, and a start flag.
Yeah, but you lost it by half a wheel to Blazuziak, who led it. And it was a wicked thing.
To be honest, I was a fair bit further back than that, but I threw my bike at him thinking if this hits him, I might just knock him off.
You might just get through. And it was one of the best,
do you know what happened on there?
Things
Not
I
even
ever
my
saw.
fault. Bloody bike wouldn't start. I had no electric start, didn't that 400 beater then, and I couldn't kick the bloody thing and they were gone. And I nearly got him.
There
I wouldn't following year.
And it was...
I wouldn't hold the dash following
year.
year. £1,000 to destroy your bike through a load of rocks.
And nothing for second place.
No.
So you had to win it. And I remember you were pretty annoyed when you just failed it.
Flipping. Yeah, Polish lad got it, didn't he? Yeah, it made you run to your bike in that event. What a stupid idea that was.
Oh, yes, they did. Yeah. What, and the main event?
Yeah, you had to run up that bloody hill, and as I got to the top, Paul Edmondson were just nipping out at corner and just standing onto us. I was like, he hadn't run up that hill then. I don't know if I was more pissed off that I didn't know about hiding in corner. Honestly, I could hardly breathe when I got up there. That's when I hit David Knight going through. Woody, we were on that he just signed for BMW.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that did come with a few wheelbarrows of cash, did that, but I think crankshaft spun the wrong way. So when you shut it off, it didn't dive. It sort of like tried to lift as you were turning a corner. Anyway, moaned about it forever.
Yeah, he was very upset about the way.
And gave it all back. Flipping hell, he had an M3 sat at home and all sorts of stuff. I could have ridden it. I'd have probably ridden it for trials. He definitely wanted off it. That's when Paul Bird bought him a Kawasaki to start riding, and Blandy were looking after it for him.
Yeah.
No, Birdie kept him rolling on a bike, Good old boy.
I didn't realise that, why should I ever have known, but you've got quite a handy collection of 50 or 60 motorbikes spread around the place.
Oh, I've got loads of piles of rubbish laid everywhere, yeah.
And is that because you just enjoy buying them or intend to do them up?
I've never actually done anything with most of them. There's bits missing off all sorts of stuff. Nothing special.
The interesting thing for me is that we've all got a few bikes about us, but you like the older stuff, like the real old stuff.
Yeah, no, I've got of anything new.
And also I hadn't realised that you were named after a Douglas motorcycle, because your dad had a couple that you still have.
Yeah, he had a Douglas and he had a couple of Scots. Yeah. And it's named after 1923 2 3/4 horsepower Douglas. Luckily not named after a Scot. So we've still got them. And my boys' middle names are Douglas. And they've got Douglases as well now. Not that they've done a lot with them, as you can imagine.
During the Blitz in the Second World War, your granddad drove his sidecar outfit up and ended up in Silsden with baby Arthur in the chair. Did that machine ever get kept?
I don't think so, no. They'll have flogged it for a house, won't they? Arthur got munitions factory, wasn't it, they were going, and they had to choose either Birmingham or Keighley. And somebody in the queue, he didn't know what to tick, and somebody in the queue said, I've been near Keighley, it's nice up there, so he ticked that purely on what this chap had told him in the queue. And then he rode up with Arthur, his sister Janet, and his wife on his sidecar with everything they owned, and they were knocking on doors for somewhere to stay in Silsden. And that's the beginning. So actually, we're from London, allegedly.
Yes, the Yorkshire dynasty of Lampkin.
Yorkshire dynasty is actually from London, briefly. And then obviously Arthur's the one who got the bikes going, and he's the one who sort of got the family going and installed this.
What I was surprised by, and I didn't really until I was writing an obituary for Arthur, was how young he'd really got himself going. Like at 17, he was suddenly a BSA factory rider and was winning stuff in the trials world.
Yeah, no, he was winning, and they were making a load of money. God, I think he had like a dozen cars in 2 years and all that lot. But he bought the family home, and nobody had televisions. They were watching Arthur down the street in somebody else's television.
When he was on
he's the one who got all the family rolling without.
Yeah, he was famous on the BBC trophy,
in the 60s,
grandstand trophies
and everything. Yeah,
scrambles were like.
He's the first competition man by far, and then obviously his brothers, Sid and my dad Martin, they sort of followed on him, and he bought the bikes for him, got everybody on the bikes, and. Yeah.
Martin, his dad, never rated himself as a scrambler. I saw him scrambling in.
No, but it was but they needed to do it.
Yeah.
To get the money, they were doing speedway with my dad and Malcolm Rathmell to get a few quid to go to.
Oh, were they?
To Britishes, and because trials didn't have enough money in it then.
Yeah.
So gosh, we do digress, don't we? We're on about bloody all sorts.
Yeah.
What about? But you've been you were enticed into watching a bit of MotoGP at the weekend. When you said you weren't going to.
No, I've had a weekend off. I was going to do no bikes, but I did all sorts of stuff really. But Alfie was 21 at the weekend, so we. So I had a bit of a do for him. But I was watching the MotoGP. I do like the bikes. Like to understand how everything's going on, but they've got a few toys on them now, haven't they? They've got a few helping bits, haven't they, and stuff like that. But
they're going to have less next year, which is a good thing.
Now they took that start, like the front lift off, innit, and just said, right lads, we'll have a go. Fairly brave, innit, mid-season, that to be. Thing is with something like that, even though there's only that many things on bikes, whether it's safer, better or not, you'll never get everybody to agree, will you?
No, you can't.
Same in trials.
Yeah.
Well, I like that ride height device. Well, I hate it. Well, theirs is better than ours. But it's funny how a sport at that level, I mean, they mess about with rules and everything, don't they? But it's like in Formula 1 at the minute, isn't it? There's obviously something a bit wrong with it, but they're playing with this £1 billion industry. And the toy is the rules, isn't it? But it's when it goes a bit away from the actual racing or
which
the
I think it has.
I think it has, got to say. To the business, which I understand as well, because it employs thousands of people or hundreds of people. There's all sorts of... I think it's more positive to it than negative, but I can see how some people people moan now about, they moaned with me. Toni Bowes won too much, no good for sport. Flipping out, it's not his fault.
No.
He's riding 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Minimum. There's a reason why he's winning. He works harder than everybody else. He worked harder to get that Honda, and he's worked hard to make sure he kept hold of it. And that's it. Same with what I did and everything, but we're lucky in trials because even if you had the best bike there is, if you can't ride over them obstacles, you can't do it. Whereas you do look at some sports where you're a bit like, flipping hell, if he had that bike or that car,
I think most motorsports like that. Trials is completely opposite.
Yeah, trials is the only one. Look at that, really.
Yeah.
And it's not a team sport either, which I quite liked.
Yes, yeah.
I always quite liked that if I did my job, nobody else could interfere with that, whereas that's so different in others, and that's must be really frustrating for a rider or a driver, I suppose.
Your dad always had an outlook that, again, something that he told me in that interview all those years ago about not being concerned with what other people were doing. He said if you made a really good start across, say, the first 3 sections, and you could get a really good score of the first 3 sections.
I just think that's unique to trials, though. Really, I was starting an event knowing that if I did my bit, it didn't really matter what everyone did. If my training worked towards that, if I rode somewhere near my best, then I was going to win anyway.
Yes.
But I don't know if that really exists anymore. Not sure. You must know. Did a fair bit of winning. Not in trials, I know, but...
I think you've got to be confident. I think...
We all watched John at Cadbury's Boost. Even Jack watched John at Cadbury's Boost.
I never really worried about anybody else. I thought if I had a good day and I'd done my job right, I was going to be...
And you were on a decent bike?
Yeah. Some years you don't end up on the bike that's the most competitive.
Yeah, that'd do my head in, would that?
When you made the change from 2-stroke onto that 4-stroke factory Honda, how much better was the 4-stroke? Immediately a better bike to ride?
No, we went on to the 2-stroke first.
Oh, sorry, you went on to the 2-stroke Honda
I went on
first.
to the 2-stroke for 4 years.
You did, yes.
4 years. It's absolutely bloody awful.
When you first went on the 4-stroke?
Horrible thing.
Really?
No, the 2-stroke. Even when I went onto the 2-stroke, I'd obviously won the championship 3 years on beta, and then Honda come knocking.
Yeah.
And obviously they bring a suitcase with them as well, so that was fairly handy. So
Making
fairly
money.
quick on signing that. Chief negotiator, my dad sorted that out fairly quickly. I was ready for a bit of a change, but it was hard because I'd always been with Beta, and obviously John imported it and everything, and we were a very close family. But he actually came to, when I first tested the Honda, John came with us. They were a bit surprised when he rocked up, but I signed for Honda. We were on a 2-stroke. The bike was awful.
What was awful?
Luckily, I was that good that I could compensate it for 6 or 8 months before I got it a bit better. Suspension didn't feel right, head angle, everything. Yeah. Clutch vibrated that much, the teeth nearly fell out. It had no power. It didn't like altitude.
How did you win on it?
Just spent a lot of time doing it. Luckily, Amos Bilbao was riding for Honda at the time. He was just about at the end, and he was really good at testing. And I was like, he was thinking about stopping, and I was like, if he stops, we need him as a test rider. We're going to have to start pretty quick on this because I can't prop this up for long. Because everybody knew when I signed for it that it was going to be a bit of a challenge. Turned it round in 12 months. Bike were absolutely brilliant, and then they gave us a 4-stroke, which they might as well have given us that thing. Awful.
I was hoping you'd say that.
No. Well, they basically stopped making 2-strokes, didn't they? We had a great,
completely.
We just finally got a bloody great trials bike, and I mean, it were amazing. And we were flying. Everything was great. I just lost the championship to Fujinami, and to be fair, he beat me.
Yeah.
It was plain and simple. But if they hadn't have chucked that 4-stroke at us, one of us would have won it for the next couple of years, but probably him, in fairness.
Yes.
Because, he
was an exuberant
he was sick of being second, so it was... Yeah. They were always going to come, but then, they gave us a bike. We brought it, I'm not kidding you. We rode around this car park on it. It had no power, it was heavy as hell. It was absolutely awful. We were going to indoors all over the place on a weekend, riding it. And then we were flying back to Barcelona. They'd pick us up at airport. We'd go riding on a Sunday, and new engines would come in every Monday morning, hand carry, when you could carry an engine. We just tested literally all week and rode at weekend. I won the first round of the championship, which I wished I'd never done because they thought bike were all right then. Yeah. And it wasn't. I fluked it.
Your dad, I can just quote your dad again. He said in that 96 interview, as far as development riding is concerned, you might as well have Peter Pan as have Dougie.
Well, back then I learnt everything off Donato Miglio at Beta.
Oh, he mentions Miglio as being the man.
Because I didn't have a bloody clue. I just rode it. I couldn't care if front wheel were pointing there and handlebars were over there. I just weren't interested at all. I could just ride it. I still can to a certain extent, but I couldn't ride that 4-stroke. Neither of us could. On the first test, I rode it round, brought it back, I put it down, and my dad was like, how bad is it? I was like, well, you can't ride it. And then Fuji was riding it round. We're in this private area in Manresa. They'd checked all the area to make sure there were nobody there and nobody filming us. There were nobody bloody daft enough to film that. It was honestly, it was probably the worst bike they've ever brought out for anybody to ride. It was.
So who improved it?
We did. We were just literally flat out. There were 2 test riders in Japan. There were Amos and there were us. We were all testing it.
So
2 new engines come every single week.
So Amos had a lot to do with it.
Everybody had a lot to do, yeah, but it just didn't work, that was how it was. Yeah, no, we couldn't do it. But when on that first exact test, Fuji rode off and then we couldn't see him. Anyway, I wandered back to the van just like, oof, wow. And Fuji were already sat in his van. He was crying his eyes out because he knew then, 1 month or less after winning his first World Championship, he knew he would never win it
done.
again.
Yeah.
What improved it to the extent that Toni Bowles started dominating stuff a couple of years later?
Basically, I spent until 2006 doing it and then gave it to him. And then he never lost since.
Yeah.
39 world titles so far.
Yeah.
This year, he'll win. He'll
40.
be 40 with
Yeah.
40 titles, and he'll have been world champion for more years of his life than not.
Is he 40 this year?
Somebody announced that at an indoor trial, and we were in Spain. I was like, we're in Spanish, but I think I got that. Did somebody just? And I went, yeah. Commentator just said it, and I was like, what a stat. Yeah, unbelievable. You'd never see it again. There's a big documentary being done by Movie Star this year. It's been going on all year. We've done quite a few interviews for it, and I've done a few things for it. It'll be really interesting when it comes out because, yeah, not only is he obviously absolutely bloody amazing, but he's a really nice lad as well.
Yes,
you
he
can't help
is.
but like him.
Yeah.
If it'd been a pain in the arse, it might have been a bit easier to take, mightn't it? Yeah, you win 12 titles and you think you've done your job, and
He's never done the Scottish 6 days though, has he?
he don't need to do though, does he, Jack? He's done it. He's riding a lot less now. He's got a lot of problem with his shoulder. He's got a problem with his wrist. But he'll stop riding before he gets beaten.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Well, if he's 40.
Who can you say that about in any sport, doing anything? He will not be beaten until he stops.
Well, I must admit, looking at the bare bones of your own career, which was obviously the most successful one, presumably in trials.
It's easier
Pretty
talking about
much.
other people instead of me, you know, a lot easier when I have to talk about somebody else.
World out 7 consecutive world outdoor titles, 5 consecutive world indoor titles,
Yeah.
4 times Trial des Nations,
Yeah.
the Trial of Nations.
Did he only win that 4 times?
You won it 4 times, 97, 99, 02, 03. 6 times British champion.
Somebody asked me that. I should be writing this down. Give me I'll have a copy of that. There you go.
Take a screenshot of that.
6 times British.
Yeah.
I've said that wrong for a few years, and I put 4 down on that a few times.
Two times. I'd forgotten you won the Spanish Championship twice.
Yeah.
14 times Scottish 6 days. 6 times Scott Trial, which people reckon is the hardest of them all.
Yeah.
I just won it.
Yeah. And 2002, the MBE, of course, creeps in. And of course, there were
2000. 2000.
2000, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You got that wrong.
I got that wrong. How dare I?
2000, first year of Montesa, I came into Sheffield Arena in a box. Do you remember?
Oh,
The box
yes.
fell open like that, and there I
Yes.
was. Shaking like a dog. Flipping hell, I rode that bad that night, my knees were clanging. Oh, worst ride ever.
I didn't realise also you won the British World Trials Championship round 10 times.
Did
at
I?
Hawkston Park and Douglas, as well as that first one at Hogton Towers.
I know I had 99 wins.
99 overall world title round
wins, yeah.
And you also 3 times on the podium at the Erzberg Red
Oh
Bull
yeah, have you got
thing.
them stats? Because I could do with them. It's 30th year anniversary, and I've got an interview.
Do you
to
know?
do on
I've only got the
Erzberg.
fact that
Oh,
you were
bloody hell.
you were 3 times on. I'm sorry, you were 3 times on the podium, but I don't know which years.
I've only
Can
had
you
second. I
remember
know I've
which?
had second, third, and fourth. I've had 3 podiums. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm gonna have
On the
got that wrong as
Eurotech
well, then.
Hope KTM 300 EXC.
Yeah, that was my last year. First year I went in helicopter. Cost me €4,100.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Winched out.
That'll have hurt you because Hodgson.
I got reimbursed. Don't you worry.
Oh, did you?
Not from Hodgson, you didn't.
No,
That's where they were dressing me in room to get me out of hospital. Because if I stayed in past 9 o'clock, it was another €1,300. Now, you want to see them getting me out of that bed at 8:45? My dad were there, Jacko were there, our John were there, like, get your gear on. I was like, am I allowed out yet? We're off home. If you get past 9 o'clock, you have to pay again. Come on, we're off. Flipping hell.
Hodgson said you were really good at getting out of the Isle of Man airport without paying for the car. He
Taught me that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
How did that work then?
Allegedly, I don't know how it worked. All I know is that we didn't pay very often. He were even better than that. He used to go, you couldn't run me to airport, could you? I was like, well, why didn't you take your van? I think barrier works now. I was like, he never paid. He'd got somebody to give him a lift, him. He is tight.
And you were living next door to him at the time?
Yeah.
Up at Onkard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Majestic Apartments.
Yeah.
Didn't you once the two of you get arrested for riding on the beach?
Allegedly,
Where was
Jack.
that?
We were riding up at Derby. We used to ride up at Derby all the time. I tell you, we used to ride up there, remembering another great man, Steve Islop. We used to all go riding up there, and Steve always wanted to drive because they both had them old Fiat Ducatos, probably cost the cheapest van you could get. Neil had one of them. And Islop just refused to go up there with him because obviously he knew where they were going, and Neil thought it was a TT racer driving up to Derby, and he did drive flat out. And Islop just had his hands on the dash like that, just shaking his head, slow down, because he were crap at driving anyway. But we used to ride up there a lot with him. Anyway, one day, gate were locked, so we decided to just go a bit further on, and we pulled into this big parking area, and we rode about 100 yards down beach and round fence and into riding round Derby. And then when we finished, we rode up, we rode back round fence, we did 100 yards. I don't even think it ran any more than that. It could have even been less. And there were police van and car with all lights flying. I'm like, shit, what's happening here? What's happening? And it was us. We were with a mate from Isle of Man. I can't remember who it was now. And police were there. I was like, oh, God, we're in trouble now. Just tell. Bobby were desperate to have us in trouble. And they were like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, we're motorbike. And we were just doing a road safety campaign as well at that moment for government. And yeah, shit, we did get in some trouble for that. We got on page 2 in paper. I think, unfortunately, somebody had been shot somewhere and they got front page, otherwise would have probably... It was horrific. It went on and on. It was bloody stupid. But the really odd thing is me and Hodgson, they tried to throw a bucket at us, and obviously we had to get somebody to help us out with it. And fucking Mankell had never even got a call from police. So it were all a bit of a shame, really, because we weren't riding round on a beach.
Yes.
We rode down beach to go round fence to go to where we were allowed to practice on private land, motocross track, where everyone still rides to this day. Yeah, probably only sort of negative, what a shame thing that happened in sort of all our time at the...
And did you get it done?
I think it cost us a few quid, yeah.
Yeah. Surprising that in the Isle of Man,
yeah,
isn't it?
no, I think it just went... I don't really know. I'm trying to think of bloke who sorted it out for us now. It was just... Yeah, it was a shame, because we were in a road safety campaign. We used to do all sorts of bits of stuff, because everyone loves the bikes over there.
Yes,
and when you got asked to do something, you always did it. It was funny how everyone supports everything over there. And a bit of a charity thing here and a bit of that there. And can you come down to Marina and do a bit of a talk? And we used to do that all the time, because you just did. People were always helping you, and you sort of helped what they were doing. And
yeah, it surprised me they were...
Yeah, it all went too far too quickly, and then it had gone too far then, and it was like, oh, bloody hell, now there is going to be... Anyway, we didn't go for our hearing or anything, got it all remotely done. But yeah, no, lived next door to Neil. That was an interesting time. Flipping out.
Good mates?
He could sulk when he came home in.
Yeah.
If he'd had a bad weekend, it took him 3 days to recover. It was a bloody nightmare. Catherine used to just wander straight out of his door, straight into her. You like to go live with him for a bit. He hated it. He were on too much money on that Fila Ducati, wasn't he? He were on too much. Bonuses were too good. It was mesmerising me. I was like, you get paid way too much money. No wonder you're sulking when you lose. It was costing him a bloody fortune.
That's interesting.
Teammates for Ruben's house, one he hated him.
Oh, did he?
Ruben's house. I bumped into him in Andorra the other week, actually, at World Round.
He's still crashing his house.
He can't still be crashing. It is him who crashed all the time, and it was Ruben.
All the time. I raced with him in Supersport before he went into Superbike. Still crashing now. Does some stuff for the cat, he always jumps off. Honestly.
Neil used to refer to him very engagingly as Rubens. He always called him Rubens, and sounded quite affectionate towards him. I didn't know that he was.
It's different when you're racing with somebody,
Yeah.
especially when you're in the same team.
And then he went to America and he were away loads then.
Yeah.
And we had little uns then as well. So yeah, we were all together, really good. He trained so much more than me. Flipping hell, he was fit as a butcher's dog.
Yeah, fit lad. Yeah.
Oh, Hodgson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Obsessive though as well.
Yeah.
Obsessive
Ridiculous.
about his training. Obsessive about when he ate and what he ate.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like on a 10 times more level than me.
Did you do most of your?
I was riding all the
bike?
time, and
Yeah.
he'd go to gym, and then obviously we'd meet up, and then good times, really good times. I didn't really know until we moved over there. I'd been to look at Andorra first before I went there, and then there was Gary McCoy there.
Gary McCoy.
Yeah.
Good bloke.
Yeah. There were only him and Simon Crayfar there
At that
at
time.
that time. Now everybody's
Loads
there.
now,
aren't they?
Everybody's.
Yeah, it's
there.
the place now, yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed my time in Isle of Man. We loved it. And then when Nicola were pregnant second time, and Catherine were pregnant second time, similar time, yeah, I could tell Nicola wanted to be home with family and everything. And then we found where we are now. And
So where are you now then?
near Skipton.
Oh, I
Just
didn't
near.
realise you'd moved back. Sorry, I didn't realise you'd
Oh,
moved
crikey,
back.
yeah. I came back when Fraser was not even born, and he's 18.
Okay. Oh,
Just-
bloody hell.
Yeah,
Long
been back
time ago.
forever, long time.
You ever
ago.
spend any time with David Knight
Yeah.
when you were over there?
Yeah, mainly trail riding and messing
Yeah.
about. It's not easy, lad to go trail rider. He's never opened a gate in his life, has he? He just
No.
jumps it from
He
something.
just-
He'd sort of slow down a bit and signal you, and you'll be behind like this on a 450 on standard tyres that you've got from Honda or something, and you're like this bouncing along, and he'll be like, get it wound up now, you need fourth gear for this fence, and you'll be like that, following him, and then you just go, I'll open gate. Unbelievable. Made us go down this ravine once, and it were like getting dark, and next minute, I've just got sat on my bike and handlebars are just out at water, and I'm like,
Eh?
I'll get that going straight away. Stood it up on its back end. We dragged it out onto the banking, stood it up, and carried on going down this thing. Flipping pitch black riding down road. Yeah, animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
all
yeah.
nights they can ride anything, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quads, trials bikes, enduro
He's the only man
bikes,
who-
motocrossers, 5-bar gate. You could ride out him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely unbelievable.
He won the Western Beach race on a quad on the Saturday, and then
Solos
3-hour
on-
race, and then won the solo
Solo
on the
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Douglas, you're very much involved
Come here,
in
Francis,
this upcoming World Trials round on towards the end of July.
Yes.
On Anglesey.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What's your involvement then?
Yeah. Well, I've been with my manager, Jake Miller, since '99. So
Yeah.
I've been around a while. Obviously, we've run the DL12 indoor trial and X-Trial leads for the last few years in
Yes.
the arenas. And now we've got around at the outdoor at Anglesey, 25th, 26th of July. I was there again yesterday, actually, just plotting the section and everything, all on the coastline. Weather was absolutely glorious. Yeah, really interesting.
Beautiful place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you
Beautiful.
going to be the man designing?
Yeah,
most
I'm
of the
doing all the
sections?
sections and everything. And we've got
Yeah.
all the MotoFest side where you can ride, test adventure bikes, use your own adventure bike on the road if you come on that, so for the
Yes.
bikers to come down. All sorts of experiences.
I'm down there doing
He's
some-
even having a warm
Yeah.
up.
On to taking them on track experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experience
for
pillion
punters, yeah.
rides as well. There's some pillion rides there. Obviously, the World Championships going on as well. Yeah. So good. Yeah, nice 3-day weekend. So
Yeah, and actually, the idea is that instead of getting an insular sort of trials orientated crowd, you sort of get other people in,
Right,
because trials is one of them things. It doesn't matter what your involvement or what aspect of motorcycling you've been watching. It's flipping amazing. You know that. We all know that.
yeah, it's a funny how world is trials. It's got this amazing spectacle, but everyone thinks it's always this massive elite sport, but it's not. It's quite a unique, not really a massive sport. But then down at the grassroots, you get a good 2-day or a 3-day trial on, the entries are full.
Yeah.
So it's just the divide is massive.
Yes.
Either you can do it or you can't do it. But I mean, watching it is unbelievable.
Amazing to watch.
When you watch Toni Bow coming on, and obviously we've got the Brits coming in now. Jack Pease has just had his first podium in Trial GP, which is the top class.
And your nephews,
Nephew
Harry
George
and George
Hemingway,
Hemingway.
Yeah,
he's just won the last round. I mean, we've got such a strong
Yeah.
push at the moment. Yeah, Alfie's pushing in. He got his points at the weekend. He was 15th in Italy in the last round. Yeah, the Brits need the support. We all need the support. It's going to be a great event. You can watch pretty much every single section by walking round. It's all so close, and like Jim said, it's a really nice venue.
Oh, it's
isn't
pretty.
it?
You can see Snowdon in the background. It's just gorgeous place.
No,
We do a
it's
lot of
good.
track. We do. I think
Looks like a good track and everything. Actually,
brilliant track.
You know, just
It's a little. It's a hidden
I'm
gem.
hoping to have a little blast myself. I just need to find myself half hour and have a little roll.
Well, we've got Dan
around.
Linfoot doing some
Flipping
wheelie
that going on
experiences.
back.
So get on back. That's going to wheelie. That thing will
I'm
wheelie.
riding it. I'm doing that bit. No, I don't that bit. No chance.
Yeah, it's going to be a mega event.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, no, if anyone fancies a little trip out today, you'll get to see a bit of everything and have a go yourself.
What's your feeling on where trials is at the moment at world level?
I think trials will always be. It'd never be a massive sport. I think it's one of those sports that when you go and watch it, you go home going, that is unbelievable. I mean, they go up 2 metre steps like it's nothing.
Yeah.
What an incredible thing. But that don't necessarily make you go home and buy one.
Yes.
But we do have that sport as well. It's
Yeah.
just not that accessible for you
Yeah.
to see as the general public side. Obviously, if you do road racing and you do motocross, you can get around the track. You'll just be a hell of a lot slower. You know, we can all go and have a go.
Yeah,
at
you can
road
all
racing.
do what the.
We
Yeah.
can't all go to a trial
Not
and you
at all.
come with me riding. But you can if you go to where he goes to ride instead of where
Yes.
I go to ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the difference, you know. We've got a little summer series, Wednesday night series that goes on at the minute. There's like 50 or 60 riders for a few hours on a Wednesday night. Absolutely unbelievable. Sharing bikes and everything. Brilliant.
Yes.
Proper grassroots and everyone having a whale of a time. And then you go and watch the big boys and you're like, wow. But I think that's why it's... And I think there's a lot more sports now than what there used to be, and extreme sports. Remember Kickstart used to be an extreme sport on the TV.
Yeah.
It won't be anymore.
Who was it came up to you and started singing
Robbie
this
Williams, wasn't it?
signature
Robbie
tune?
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody.
Robbie Williams.
It's unbelievable. Everybody, yeah.
What was that? As soon as the
Funny
mention of
old
trials.
world. Yeah, when you mention trials, everyone's like, trials? And you just instantly, as long as they're like not 25, because I wouldn't have a
Yes.
bloody clue. If there's any chance that they're like 35, 40, you go, do you remember Kickstart? I'm like, oh, yeah. It's that sport.
Yeah.
And then instantly they do bloody theme tune because everybody remembers it.
Yeah. It was for kids. It was a massive thing with
Unbelievable.
Kickstart.
You just get
So
3
good.
days off school and 200 quid. It were a dream. Popularity went like that for a week or two, and then you were back down again. Even women noticed you and everything. It was like, yeah, and then it were gone. I were useless.
Were
Was
you?
that nerves though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was awful. I didn't win. I don't think I really won any event in my youth at any British level or anything.
You won I
I won the A class.
and B
Yeah, I
schoolboys.
only when Graham moved up a class. When Graham Jarvis left, I won.
Okay.
I never beat him in youth, and then tried to make him not beat me when we left youth.
Yeah. That
Yes.
worked well.
We had a pretty good run at that.
Yeah.
Silly old bugger still riding though, isn't he?
I know. Yeah.
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 When you turned your attention to the extreme enduro stuff, did you anticipate that going better than it did? Did you think, I could maybe go
No,
over
I was
this,
in
only
it.
never
I was
that
in it at a
bubble?
period of time. They created a new sport, and I seemed to be there. And it was for enduro riders that weren't fast enough, and trials riders that weren't good enough. And it seemed to work quite well.
Yes.
And I did a few indoors and a few outdoors, and as you mentioned, I had a few good results at Erzberg and everything. And then people like your Johnny Walker were coming in, and Taddy Blazuziak were coming in a bit stronger, and they were a lot better than us. And I never wanted to be an enduro rider. I was quite happy being a trials rider, and I just sort of stepped back out of it then.
Right.
But that was just Red Bull opportunities, really.
Yes. Are you doing any more? Is there more Red Bull stuff?
Yeah,
Well, obviously
I've got
it's
all
fairly
sorts.
constant.
I've got all sorts on, really. Yeah, I've been with them since 2000 now, so I'm in my 27th year. So I'm the longest in the UK by I think McGaskill's after me. He's been there a while. He'll be about 10 less, I think.
What year did you do the wheelie around the Isle of Man course?
Wheelie was 10 years ago. The slowest man to go around the TT course.
Can I ask you? You know, when you were planning that, did you look what Dave Taylor? Did the idea come from Dave
Yeah,
Taylor's
but the thing about Red Bull is everything comes from the athlete, or in my case, the rider.
ideas?
Yeah, they don't come to you going, I've had an idea.
Yeah.
You go to them. I mean, it's the most unique place in the world, really, the most unique company.
Yes.
the help that you get off them, they call it the APC, Athlete Performance Centre in Austria. I mean, it's absolute, the technology there for recovery, for your training, for your fitness, everything is unbelievable. If you want reaction stuff, they'll look into it for you and help you with that, helping the Speedway at the minute, and for riders that we've got in that. And it's just an amazing company, but when you're coming out of like the World Championships and everything, that's what they sort of kept me going. I rode a beach race in Holland. That wasn't such a good idea, actually, because I just fucking crashed all the time. I never,
Was that the Red Bull knockout?
I went through the fencing on the promenade because we jumped off the sand onto this concrete promenade, and I didn't really think about it too much. And I wasn't that confident on jump, and I overshot it and went flying into it was the longest day of my life on a motorbike. But you know, them opportunities to sort of do that, brilliant. But the wheelie sort of came in and out, and I'd done a few things. I've done a lot of things before. I rode under the Northern Lights in Finland in an ice video when all the blocks of ice were cut out of the river and things like that. I'd done, all sorts of amazing projects, ridden in India on all sorts, just all over, Maldives, Sri Lanka, just everywhere. And we'd always spoke about wheeling because they were like, you know, what would you like to do? And like, when you were a kid, you wanted to wheelie it or you wanted to jump it, and I don't fly very well at all on a bike, so I was like, I ain't jumping anything, but I can probably wheelie.
Yeah.
Turns out I couldn't. And we were, in my head, I'd been to Cadwell.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'd been to Cadwell. I'd been to watch British Superbikes when you were going. It's a long time ago, and I just thought it's beautiful there, really nice. It's all manicured, isn't it? Nice track, bit undulating. I was like, we could really round there, following safety car, we could video it and have a bit of fun. And it bounced around a few meetings, and then meetings were getting a bit bigger at Red Bull, and they were like, could we be doing, you know, something else, like on road would be good. And I was like, used to live in Isle of Man.
Yeah.
TT course would be cool. God knows why I said it, because everybody were like that. And you're like that. Think you could do it? I was like, absolutely no chance. And then everyone's going, but we could develop that. There could be part of the story and everything and all that. A lot TT course, and then obviously there's another energy drink involved, which we don't mention. And they were like, we'll have to do it live. And I'm like, I don't think you can do it live. Thinking, God, we're not doing it live. And they were like, why can't you do it live? Oh, I've heard that you can't, it's too complicated and hard to set up. And they were like, well, if we're doing that live then, we'll show the others. And I came home, and all of a sudden I'd gone down to a meeting in London and come home, and it had gone from Cadwell to Isle of Man. It was potentially going to be live. And I came home and I said to my dad what we were doing, and he just said to me, he went, but you can't wheelie. And I was like, well, I'll have to learn. He went, well, you can't even wheelie to end of my drive, and it's only about 500 yards. But he was absolutely right. I couldn't wheelie to end of his drive because obviously front wheel stops and it just goes down. Yeah. Anyway, I think we got the go-ahead in, like, I'm going to say January, and it was supposed to be September. It might have been a few months earlier. Dad was poorly. Dad passed. I give up on bikes for a bit. Went and did that thing in the Maldives just to get away from everybody. Then went to Sri Lanka to do another video. Didn't really want to come home, messing about. And I remember we were doing Goodwood. We were going to announce the project at Goodwood. I was going to wheelie the hill. And it's nothing, is it, when you think about it?
Compared to Isle of Man.
So that'll be June or July, let's say. And I phoned up Red Bull and said, I can't do it. I just need to cancel the project. And everybody were like, oh, shit. And I still got the screenshot on my Strava. I wheelie 1.2 mile. That was the furthest I'd ever been at that stage. And then I got my head around it a bit and got a few bollockings off various people, mother and stuff like that. And then started pushing on for it. And then started hiring the circuit in afternoons. And we'd looked at, and we'd spoken to Dave Taylor's family, because obviously it was his idea, it was his dream, and we were trying to finish it off. And his son was like, Dad would love to have done it. I mean, he were doing 60, 70 mile an hour.
Yeah, well, I was there. I watched him come past.
Unbelievable. His lad were like, he never managed it. I know it depends what you look at. He never managed it. It was his dream. You know, it'd be absolutely brilliant. And we were all, it wasn't a competition. It was just like carrying on his dream. When you looked what they were wheeling, Jesus Christ. But then we were looking at it, and Blackie, great friend of mine, and he was like, well, it's got front wheel spinning, look.
I was just going to say he had a motor up front wheel. That's what he had.
So that were it. Bought an electric flipping push bike with front thing on, chucked all that away, put it into a trials bike. Blackie sorted all that out. We're at Hope, you know, the mountain bike company, Hope Technology. Made all this brake. I was stood on 2 M10 bolts coming out with spindle to try and make it a bit easy, as he did, and all that lot. Flipping hell, we're wheeling down road. It's like this. Blackie were following me in van. Blackie's in a wheelchair, so he's in the thing, and then he pulled in front because it were getting a bit busy, and I'm still wheeling down road going, flipping hell, this is real. Then he didn't stop at the junction and I nearly got taken out, so that was a whole other story, but I was like, yeah. So I went to Cadwell Park and I wheeled about 6 laps and drove home from there thinking I can do this, but obviously we were really short on time then.
Yeah.
So I did 1,100 mile of practicing, wheelie distance twice before we went there, but only once at Cadwell and once at Croft. And then we took God knows how many people there. Tour de France camera bikes, bloody helicopter and everything, all for a bloke to wheelie his bike round thing and managed it. Daftest thing I've ever done.
How physical was it?
Ridiculous. Because we came onto the mountain, is it Gooseneck where you turn up onto the last bit on the mountain?
Yeah.
And John had been saying to me, when you get up on that mountain, get it over to the left-hand side, because it's always less windy there. Well, it can bollocks, because that's where it nearly went down. Fucking tailwind caught me, I thought that were it. And I gunned it, and you know when you're like that, and it stayed up. Miracle, because I'd lost it. It'd gone, all from a bit of tailwind. And I'd been fighting gateways earlier on.
Yeah, because you get a lot.
Gateway and 19 mile an hour, 1 hour 36 minutes.
Is that what it averaged at?
Something like that.
Yeah.
1 hour 36 something. But yeah, no, amazing. But when you got, what's it, before you come down to...
Craignabar?
Yeah, Cottage. Kate's, Annie's, whoever's, Kate's, could be Annie's.
Yeah.
Come down there, and my backside and my legs were just pulsating, and my lower back were absolutely killing. And I knew, all I could think about going down there, and you can see it in video, I'm bollocking this bike man for pulling alongside me. Because all I could think about is, I can't lift my leg off to go down 2 gears to go around roundabout at Governor's.
Yeah, down at Governor's.
Yeah. Got it, and I nearly. And I was going down there thinking, you've come all this way, you're not going to flip it, make it.
A mile short.
And flipping down, my leg moved up and I banged it down twice. Can you imagine if it had not gone into gear? So I was going round the little bridge thing and it comes out right up onto the top. And you can see and think, camera vehicle just clears off because I'm supposed to go back up 2 gears. Flipping, never moved it. Slowest finish ever at TT, I'm not kidding. You could have walked past me down that road. I couldn't care less. I was like that in second. Ging. Could not care less. Crossed line, slowest man ever. All right, and legs just cramped. Couldn't get my legs off bike. I like slumped over it like that, going, you have to help me.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing things I've ever done, really. And we got the bike out for various press things, and people came to ride it for MCN and all sorts of stuff. Nobody could wheel it anyway. Even my own team couldn't wheel it round. They were trying to do, and they couldn't. I just spent that long on it, and it didn't. When you see the riding position, it didn't look that hard, but literally you had like a 10 centimetre area where it worked. Otherwise, it tried to chuck you that way or that way.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Is there anything more in the offing on the Red Bull side?
There has been on various things, and there could be if I push things. We were going to do across the Thames on a wire, ride across on a wire. We had a meeting with this Austrian or German company who do all the cables for the ski lifts and everything. And in my head, I was like, it'll be a fairly chunky cable with that, and I'll stretch it with a crane. It'll be a decent thing. And I just casually said to the bloke, you know, how fat's it going to be, that cable? And he was like, well, quite a bit less than your finger. I was like, I never thought he was on about the weight. I went, well, you can't have a big cable. Weight, it's just going to go like that, and we'll have to hold it by 2 bolts like that, and you'll need. And I was just like, my heart went to about 350 on that flipping wheelie. I don't
is that going to happen?
Understand it now.
Right.
You couldn't do it. I spoke to Michelin. We did a bit of, because I've been with Michelin obviously a long time as well. We spoke about a special tyre for it and things like that, and developing that. I think it had just taken too long. I wanted to go up Everest, didn't I? Because you do. Japanese fella, don't you start laughing. TLR 250, TLM 250 trials bike,
right.
Japanese man, 80s, double page spreading MCN. I'm like that. Oh, look at that, look what he did in 80s. He got 2,000 metres or something like that. I was like, I like that. So I've got the paper under my arse. Straight back down to them. They was doing some research about somebody doing a base jump from there. It's not really possible. It's obviously dangerous, which they didn't like at all.
God, yeah.
And it just drifted away, did that. It wasn't a great idea. It was a great idea without knowing
what's involved. Yeah.
But you've got stuff just in the pipeline right now. Silverstone Formula One next weekend.
Silverstone, yeah, we have a
Goodwood.
massive platform that takes, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks, I think, to build off the side of the Hilton. And there's myself and, BMX freestyle, mountain bike freestyle, flatland. We do all demonstrations, and that's just a big event for obviously all the big accounts from Red Bull, all your supermarkets, and the big players that are at Red Bull, and they're all guests. And yeah, great few days, and then straight to Goodwood, which is always great. We've got the hospitality unit there, so we're doing demos there, demos in the fan zone. I do quite a bit with Royal Enfield now, so I'm riding up the hill on Royal Enfield as well, doing a few wheelies on that.
And are you riding a lot during your what would be termed your days off?
No, not really. No, not really.
Not
now.
needing
I do
to.
all sorts of demonstrations, things for Michelin, things for Red Bull, the things that I want to do now. Do a few charity days like the air ambulance days and things like that with the Midlands one.
I've just remembered something.
Quite enjoy all them.
We've got a few questions for you from some of our... I think that...
The air ambulance days, is that the one where Foggy has to go at the front and he won't have anybody overtaking him?
There's never been... I think it's been going on over £1 million now in that place. Right? Don't you be laughing? Over £1 million. There's
Foggy.
The ones that have been there forever are Foggy, Parrish and me. There's never been one photo where Foggy's in front, but all our days at CCM that were always the same. He can't ride. If somebody passes Foggy down there, he'll run them off road. He will do.
Yeah.
You know what he's like. He's flipping hell. He makes me look good at being... I can't just ride for fun. Well, he definitely can't.
The best thing is, though, everybody else rides their bike there. He gets it van down.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant.
He got on this time. I don't know what it's called. Bloody great massive thing with back end stuck up here, and it had slicks, and it was just starting to drizzle, and Foggy's going,
Uh-oh.
I was like, we're riding down bypass, you'll be all right.
It's not a World Championship round.
I said, do you need some tyre warmers on that? I need a decent tyre on it. I can't ride with that. I'm like, we're going down bypass car. And you can see him, he's setting his hair on front, and he's in gear, he's ready. And we ain't got our gloves on. Parrish is there on sidecar, because he's same, so he gets somebody to take it there on sidecar. Do a bit of a swap over, you see, and then so he don't have to take his bike. He's got it fairly switched on. But we just get winding everybody up, because obviously they've got blood bikes there, all amazing services out there, all of them. And we're all winding them like, yes, get yourself up near Carl, and then you get a good picture off that. You get a nice picture off that bridge and everything. Oof, when they start coming alongside that. And they must know what Carl's going to do, because Bobby's there at start going, do not pass the police car. And as he's saying it, he's just looking at Carl, nobody else. But he's done it every single year. I think it's 14 years. I've done about 10, and Parrish is about 10 as well.
Where does this happen?
From Telford. And we used to ride to this big airfield, and now we ride to this big country estate now.
Yeah. I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, to be fair, Carl's done it every year, never missed it. He's done his bit. Yeah, old Foggy.
Sorry, I had this upside down.
Never been beaten down the bypass.
Never been beaten down the bypass. He'll be cursing like hell, because I moan at him about that all the time. Right, fire.
The first one is from a member, Lisa Shepherd, and Lisa says, what has been the greatest moment in your career and the funniest moment in your career?
Greatest moment will be winning my first World Championship outdoor in '97. Obviously, everybody's dream was or is to be the best of whatever sport you do, isn't it? I want to be world champion.
Where was it?
Won in Czech Republic, round before the end. Won a fish about that long through it in the fountain in the middle, and all the bloody public jumped in after it, so it must have been something fancy. But yeah, no, that's a pinnacle really, to be the world champion, and then obviously then you start getting greedy and want another one. So, but yeah, no, that would be my best. I don't know what will be my funniest moment really. I've had some Fair moments. In my last world round, the front wheel fell out. I had a fancy spindle and I felt it snap when I jumped off this thing. And as I went to wheelie out up this step at the end, the bloody wheel stayed on. And it just came straight over my head. And I was laid on the floor with a bike like that. I was like, this is going to look awful. And it did. Got a right bollocking off the boss for that. I don't think I was supposed to have it in my bike. I'd offset the front wheel, try and get it a bit more stable on front on that gas in it. Oh, yeah, that'll probably be it. Funny is for some people, not for me.
And next question from James Robertson. We've heard from James before. How much do you think Toni Bow's early cycle riding career helped him to success in motorcycle trials?
Yeah, good question, actually. His sister was world bicycle trials champion
was she?
as well. Yeah, she was the one who got him into it.
Yeah.
So she's got a lot to answer for from all us lot. But anyway, yeah, no, definitely made a big difference, especially as the sport's evolved. Obviously, there's a lot of back wheel hopping and stuff like that now. The sport's evolved a lot that way. But yeah, without doubt, big difference. The bush bike scene's dropped off a fair bit now. So it doesn't really happen now, but he's probably one of the last ones. But yeah, definitely, it has made a big difference, I would say, yeah.
I think James mentioned that he'd seen Toni demoing stuff somewhere in France on a push bike, and he was...
Yeah, he works with Specialised a fair bit now, yeah.
And there were lads on two strokes who couldn't get near him doing the same, trying to do the same thing.
Have you not seen him jumping about on a trials bike with the engine not running? Like, like it is a push bike.
Yes.
It's a bit of a pain in the arse, really, but anyway, yeah.
Simon Gunning says, do you have any more Red Bull backed videos like, we've mentioned this, like the Isle of Man wheelie planned?
Well, there's a couple floating around at the minute, but they're all secret until they say no, but not on the scale of the wheelie, but just nice stuff, iconic locations, you know, things like that. Not a full-on taking all year to get sort of round to it, something a little bit, I would say a little bit easier for me, not for them. But yeah, no, I've ridden some amazing locations. I mentioned Sri Lanka and Goa in India and places like that. And yeah, more something like that where, it'd just be cool to take your bike to and have a play around.
Another member, Marty Hill. What was the most satisfying, your last Scottish 6 days trial win or your last Scot trial win?
That's a good question. You normally that knackered after a Scot trial.
I was just going to, how hard is a Scot for
awful,
you?
Horrendous. It was all right when I came back after missing it for a number of years when I rode at Honda and whatever, but the last few years, it kills you. Back and your neck and everything.
I've been to watch a load of times, but I never...
Yeah, no, I would say... I don't really know. I wouldn't just know what to say. I'm not...
Well, the Scot
probably the Scottish, really, because it takes all week. There's a hell of a lot into it, whereas like the Scot trial, yeah, it does mean a lot, but yeah, I've sort of won them a number of times. It's just, I think they're both pretty similar because of the amount of effort that's gone into it and you've achieved everything. The whole process has gone to plan.
Yeah.
So I would say both, really. There isn't really any events where I've come away from saying, well, because my target was to win it.
Yes.
Especially then.
Yes.
That's the problem now. I don't ride the Scot trial because I can't win it. I ride the Scottish because I can ride with my lad.
Yeah.
I can't win it. That's a bit the problem. So yeah, no, I'm going to have to just sit on the fence and say both, really, because the sort of the mission, so to speak, was to win, and it paid off.
The second part of Marty's question is, do you agree the FIM is trying to make trials more like a race and losing its tradition?
Not really, no. I think...
Because they've introduced time limits.
People don't like change. Yeah, they've introduced times during the lap, which is the right thing to do, because if not, everybody will waiting and then making it like a flipping motocross at the end of the lap. Whereas now there's 3 time schedules. Everybody were up in arms, but actually it makes it
flow a bit
more
better.
of a trial, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now they're messing about with a few things, but at the end of the day, you're still watching them ride in the sections doing what they do. They're just trying to make it a bit easier to understand, maybe a bit easier for some television and stuff like that. They're trying to grow it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and people don't like change. Oh, back in my day and all that carry on. Back in my day, it's gone, hasn't it?
Just a question from me, really. How do you go about designing a World Championship section that
Just experience, really.
That will be worthy of Tony Ball.
No, just experience, really. I don't want it all to be big steps. I want it all to be riding. I want it to be close to the minute limit. And then if you do have a mistake in it, then you know you're under pressure to make it work. So you're going to have to be a bit quicker. And
do you do this on foot or on your bike?
On foot. I can't ride what they do. I can hardly ride with my nephews and my own son now. Same as everything. The job moves on.
But you know what they're capable of.
I could set the bike up for them watching it. I wouldn't need to ride it. Yeah, you just know.
Yeah.
You just know from watching it what's missing, what it should be, or even lines or helping them. And yeah, I didn't mind. We've just come back from Italy and Andorra, and obviously James's lad is minding for Alfie now, and I'm just on the sideline, but everyone's still asking me. I'm only watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think? Shall I? But from different classes, from Tony Bow down, and they know you know, basically, and that's why they ask for your advice.
When you're laying out, do you know which riders are going to be more capable of doing what? Knowing how they ride?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, no, I want it to be... Obviously, you want to push the top lads, but I don't want it to be all come down to 3 big steps.
Yeah.
I want it to come down to 8 sections out of 12.
Yes.
And I'll push them on that. And then there will be a couple of big steps. You've got to be able to make a mistake and gain it back, but I don't want it where Tony's going to fly around and be 10 or 15 in front.
Which is a
difficult
balance,
he won't be happy about, but obviously rest at field will. But that's how it is. And just as long as I push him.
The next question is from Harley Stevens.
I know
we
Harley.
all know
we all know Harley. His kids are going quite well now.
Yeah.
Young kids.
He's bloody useless on the trials bike as well as Harley.
Is that, well, yeah, you say that compared to you, it's all relative, but I've ridden with him.
I just like to wind him up. What
good.
sort of a question has Harley got?
Well, it follows on really.
If it's crap, you can take it out anyway, can't you? See, just chop that bit off.
Has Dougie ever been waiting in line for a world round and felt terrified at the cliff coming up?
No, not really. I was always really comfortable with everything I rode. I got to a point in the indoors where when we were walking around these sections and you're jumping off pipes and rocks and everything, you don't really think anything about it. And then there came a period where I was like, oof, that'd hurt if you fell off there, or...
Yes.
Because we're obviously the big pipes on their end and it's a big hole in the middle, and I'm like, oh, if your front wheel dropped down there, that'd hurt when you landed on that one over there.
Yeah.
I never thought about that for 20 odd years. When that moment came, that was the time when I needed to be out of them, and that's when that happened.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it because I couldn't do it. I would say I was not concentrating on what I was going to do. It was what could have happened, and that's when I left that.
Do you remember those early Parrish ones?
Yeah,
they had some
live
fantastic...
on Eurosport with Jack Bernicle.
Yes, to be avoided, to be watched in silence.
The aforementioned Ali Stevens, I've ridden with him quite a bit, and he's all right. He can ride a little bit. He came up north, and we rode at Hawk's Nest.
Yeah.
In Derbyshire, and we're in the little river section, and we sort of laid out a bit of a climb out of the stream and just round a tree, one end way, bit of a sort of tight turn at the top that can easily go wrong. He got it wrong. The bike kind of took off, and he got his trousers and underpants caught on quite a thick broken branch. The bike ended up back in the stream. It removed completely his trousers and underpants, but they wouldn't fit around his boots. So he's hanging out of the tree with the completely naked from the waist down. Honestly, it's fantastic.
And there were 2 walkers walking past, and he's trying to get him out of the tree.
We had to get help. We had to get help from somebody else who was completely nothing to do with us practicing trials to help him out of the tree. Get him out. You had to take all his weight off the pants. Amazing.
He's never mentioned that, funnily enough.
Yeah, asked him about it. Fantastic.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not something you'd bring up, is it? My pants off in woods with Jim.
Naked trialing, it never took off.
Another question from Scott Reed. Scott, who's obviously...
what do you want, Poots?
obviously named after a 2-stroke motorcycle. You were thankful you weren't
yourself.
It's
nice name, Scott.
Scott Reed, was
Can you read it?
No, it's my
She's
handwriting.
right.
It's my writing. Was the Top Gear film at the TV Centre a real race or fixed?
Real race. I've signed that much paperwork, I can't say anything else. It was real.
Oh, brilliant.
What a stupid bloody question. Yeah, moving on.
Moving on, the final one is from a member, my very distant relative from Middlesbrough, Ian, and his wife Terry Bernicle. What did Dougie enjoy the most in his career, I guess? Outdoor trials, indoor trials, or a time trial like the Scott?
Outdoor trials,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
That's
I
what
could have guessed that.
I would have expected.
Yeah.
I want an indoor rider, really. I just happened to be like a fair bit better than them, and it managed to just... I never really smoked anybody in the indoors. I was winning, but it wasn't my favourite place to be.
Yeah.
That's where the sport was massive, and that was because of Geordie.
Yeah.
Because of Geordie Terrace.
You got on really well with him, didn't you?
Yeah, go on. He's all right, it's Geordie. But he was a flipping magician. I don't know how he did it. He was best rider in the world, and then all of a sudden they were sponsored by all these drinks companies, banks, gin, diesel jeans, gas jeans. Flipping hell, he had everything. We were on live on telly, everything. We're doing 30 odd indoor trials a year, and then when he went, job went.
Yeah.
Really? Sounds like Stefan Everett's retiring in
Yeah,
Belgium.
and then in mountain biking, Steve Peat, obviously local lad as well, he tells me, Sean... Oh, that's annoying now. Anyway, American mountain biker who was a snowboarder and did mountain biking through the summer. Apparently when he came along, job went up like that, and then when he left, job dropped off again. It was weird how one person can make such a big difference. And I mean, Geordie were winning everything.
Yes.
Is that me or you?
No, it's me, it's all right.
Flipping rude, that, innit? Telephone on a big job.
Yeah. You can do that.
Can you?
My workshop.
I suppose it's your
I do
job,
what I
innit?
want.
You know what you want, yeah. Sure, get on, innit? I'll let you off.
Right, Doug, you might be a little bit out of touch here, but I'm a club kind of sportsman of a trials rider. Really enjoy it. Big bunch of mates. We go out and do a trial. We do a bit of practicing. If somebody wants to get into it, and I'm not talking about yous, I'm talking about anybody.
Yeah.
It's an inoffensive sport. You can even have it's one of the sports that electric's going to work really well in the future. But even if you don't have an electric trials bike, you're not offending anybody if you're going practicing.
No.
How can people get into it?
Yeah, no, you're right about trials. It's probably one of the cheapest motorsports. You know, you don't need a brand new bike. You don't need all the best gear there is. You just need a few mates and you'll have a really good time. There's clubs all over. And I think the easiest way to find them is our governing body is called the Auto Cycle Union.
Yep.
You know, they're a great federation. If you look on their website, it tells you all your local clubs. Rock up to a local club and just introduce yourself to its secretary. At the end of the day, you'll be chatting with half the people there.
Yep.
You'll have a load of people helping you. Somebody will be giving you an old pair of boots and you're off. And that's trials, and it always will be. And that's a great thing about our sport, and you get yourself out there.
That's it. That's what you're lined up to do next weekend. Oh no, you're working at Snetterton next week.
Yeah, we get out. For us, it's mostly a winter thing because we're all busy during the summer. But it's a sport you can do anywhere. They're just about anywhere. You don't need too much land to go practice on. You don't offend anybody. Even the that's a 2-stroke petrol bike, and it don't make a lot of noise. So it's just accessible for us as a sport. It's brilliant.
You don't need a track like you say. You know, you need Farmer Out Road Field, don't you?
Yeah.
You used to have a trials bike back in the day. Yeah, come on, lad, come and have a go. And like now, the British Kids Championship in Devon at weekend, entries full, girls, boys. That's where it starts, and that's going really well. The British Trials Championship's going really well. We've got a great number of riders in all the classes, and they're flying. And the job's moving on, and it's brilliant. And nearly half of them.
For some of us.
Half of them can beat me. Yeah, well, some never get any better, do they, Jim? And that's just how it is. And,
what about girls?
we've got in the trials. We have obviously Emma Bristow. She's 10 times world champion. She's just retired.
Oh, has she just packed in?
Yeah, just retired. Yeah, she didn't ride last year. She now is basically a Sherco importer into the UK with her husband James.
Oh, right.
She had a good run out Scottish, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy rider. I rode around Scotland with her 2 years ago. Flipping out, yeah, she could ride. She dropped straight back into top 3 if she wanted to carry on riding.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess there's like 20 of them at a British Championship, maybe even more in the various classes. We've always had a good run on girls, and it started when we were doing like the World Games, and there was a chance that trials might be an Olympic sport. You know, they have these entry levels, don't they, to sort of prove yourself.
Yeah, it's like a trial.
We did a couple of World Games, and I think that was because of the level of amount of girls that we had as well. In that, they don't have a World Indoor Championship, mainly because they don't want it. I asked Emma if she'd ride in Sheffield a couple of times, and she didn't want to do. But there's 2 ladies classes in the World Championship. There'll be 25, 30 riders.
Yeah.
From all over. Scandinavia, Spain, France, Italy, England. Brilliant.
And of course, it's worth pointing out that a couple of these outstanding young British male lads are part of your family, really, because your mum was the sister of John Hemingway, who was your dad's contemporary as a trials rider. So they're the sons of Dan. Dan and Ben
Dan's,
were top trials riders, and now Harry and George are following in.
They've both won the World Youth Championship. Harry won the Trial 2 World Championship last year, so he's now in the top class, and George is in the Trial 2 class this year.
It's a huge family affair,
and they had
an
amazing night in Leeds at Extra. Unreal.
Unbelievable. Crowd just lifted them and carried them both
just brilliant.
Word go.
Just
unbelievable.
The best night because of them 2.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's great. Local lads, 8 miles away from Leeds.
Yeah.
In the live,
Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, sports flying in that respect, absolutely great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
No
Doug.
problem. I don't know what you're going to pull out of that lot. Talked about all sorts of
That'll
rubbish.
be really
All
good.
sorts of rubbish.
Thank you very much.
Sprouty milking the applause.
MotoFest is being held 24th to 26th of July at Anglesey Circuit down on the Isle of Anglesey, which I do quite a lot of track days there, probably 18 a year. The place is beautiful. Honestly, it is the hidden gem of British circuits. Circuit's good, surface is good, the views are brilliant. You can see Snowdon, it's right by the seaside, it's up, it's down, it's brilliant. MotoFest is built around a round of the World Outdoor Trials Championship with all that entails. And if you've never seen, listen,
can you stop giving me cheese in that sandwich at lunchtime?
Yeah, that's what it is. So, MotoFest is built around a round of the World Outdoor Trials Championship. That's good enough on its own. However, it's not on its own because they built a whole festival around this, including the main things you think from a bike festival, right? Food, you've got live music, you've got bars, you've got camping, but also you've got road rides. You've got guided road rides around Anglesey.
Yeah.
You can test drive from various manufacturers road bikes, adventure bikes. There's an enduro loop. You can take part in yourself. There is also, and this is my little part of it, on-track sessions on your own bike, £25 a session. You've got a book on, so if you do want to book an on-track session, go to motofest.co.uk. 25 quid for 15 minutes. If you've not been on tarmac before, it's an ideal opportunity to do that under safe conditions. Me and my instructors, and you will have heard of them, most of the BSB boys, will be looking after you. If you don't want to do any track sessions, don't worry about it. Go anyway, it's going to be brilliant. If you've never seen outdoor trials before, it's brilliant. But these lads are the best at what they do, and you'll be amazed at what they can do. Plus the fact there's going to be loads of other motorcyclists there looking and doing the same things as you, so you can talk about your bike and their bike. It's a load of like-minded people, and it's going to be a cracking weekend, 24th to the 26th of July.
So that was what you might call a good do, James. Very nice to see Dougie.
So entertaining. And you know, you said that one of his pastimes was making money. He does it in such a lovely way, but he never stops thinking about his next quid, does he? It's brilliant. Really good.
Whether it's one just saved or one that's coming up.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, love it.
Now then, what about recent British Superbike?
Knockhill.
The visit to Knockhill in Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, you were there. I was watching it on the telly. Watching mainly the first three riders. We didn't seem to get a great deal beyond them in the Superbike classes, but that was because they were so tightly bound together for a lot of the time.
Both in the race and the championship.
Yes.
So basically, first race, 2 wins over the 3 races for Kyle Ryde and a third.
After that amazing monkey bike
Well,
ride.
the reason that he finished third in the last race on Sunday was the fact he said, I was just pooped, just knackered.
Yes, understandably.
And explain why.
Because he'd ridden how many miles?
275.
9 hours with Josh Brooks, all the way from his hometown.
Yeah, Jacksdale to Knockhill. However, the one of the points that nobody gets is they did it on monkey bikes, which are 125s, but because Kyle has only got a CBT, he's on L plates, no motorways. They couldn't just go up there at 60 mile an hour flat out on the motorway.
Yeah.
They had to go, A roads.
Yes.
So it was 375 miles. It was absolutely lashing down the whole way.
Was it really?
Right, yeah. Somebody who rode with him a little bit was Somai, Dow team owner.
Yeah.
She rode a little bit of the time with him. Other people joined them for some of it and left and did the bit round their town, etc. So they posted it on socials. Raised 30 grand for Maria Costello and her recovery, which is brilliant.
Yes.
What it meant was Kyle's got a little bit of a cold, not feeling the best. So by the last race, he just says, I was knackered. And actually, that's typical Kyle. He'd had a cracking weekend, more points than anybody else, and was quite prepared not to win just to keep his championship going in such a way. That's what's giving him 2 championships.
And then within the week, he's gone off to ride a 3-hour endurance race on a 37-year-old RC30 with Dino Ellison.
Yep.
And said how much fun it was riding with Dino, who rode very well, and they won it.
Yep. But you'd expect him to,
What's he like?
I mean, no disrespect to Dino Ellison, who can ride a bike, but you'd expect anybody who's partnering Kyle Ryde at the minute would have a good chance of winning, whether they got on the bike or whether they didn't. Yeah, so race 1 at Knockhill was, Kyle took, what would that be? That'd be 6 out of 7. And it was Kyle, Scott Redding. Going really, really well was Brad Ray. Didn't look like his bike had the speed. It was difficult for him. He could maintain a lap time, but he couldn't do anything in terms of passing. His bike dropped a valve then late on in the race. That allowed an improving Glenn Irwin to get his first podium in a long time. That was brilliant to see, quite emotional. Sprint race the next month. And by the way, it was all in absolutely fantastic conditions.
Yes.
Just blue skies, not a lot of wind, just fantastic.
Yes.
Which is unusual. I hate to say this, but because I love Knockhill, it's quite unusual to get a weekend like that, or certainly 2 days like that. Sprint race, Kyle won it again, so that's 7 from 8. Second place, it was Brad Ray. He stayed with Kyle, but couldn't do anything with him really, and really riding out of his skin, I thought, Brad, on the bike he was on. Most amazing thing was safety car came out, and a couple of people didn't know what to do. They thought they were going to be coming back in the pits because I think Brad Ray missed the safety car flag, and he immediately, coming out of the hairpin, aimed to go up the pit lane.
Yes.
Well, Kyle saw that. His rival, right, might end up being the rival for the championship, you don't know. And he waves him to come back on the track because he'd have been excluded if he'd have gone in the pit. So another kind of example of them pair of good mates anyway. They've displayed a massive amount of sportsmanship between themselves and others in the past. So I thought that was another example. Yeah, the sprint race was Kyle, Brad, Scott, and then in the last race on Sunday, 30 laps is a lot of laps around there. It's no bigger distance than any other BSB race, but it's a lot of laps. Very tiring, no rest on that track, really intense physically. And I think Kyle was just a bit knackered, and that allowed Scott to get his second win of the year. And again, Brad Ray's second, cracking ride. And Kyle quite happy to finish 4th and keep his championship going. Mentioned in dispatches for me would be a little bit unlucky. Rory Skinny had an engine problem, going quite well at times, but his bike let him down at least once. And Ryan Vickers. I mean, we know the Honda at the minute isn't the best package in BSB for whatever reason. We all hope they can get up right up the front at some point soon. But Ryan just rode the wheels off it. Honestly, I chatted with him afterwards and says, you couldn't have made it go round any quicker than that. He says, no, I don't think I could. Don't think I could. He fell off in one, just pushing the front. He said the front were going everywhere. It's a real front end circuit is Knockhill. You can imagine, off the end of that straight, he's front ender, then again front ender, then McIntyre's the one that drops down towards Butcher's, is just a real front end kind of off camber. I thought Ryan rode absolutely brilliantly, honestly.
And in Supersport, talking about brilliant rides, Ollie Bayliss in the Triumph, for coming from behind to just see everybody off.
Right, so the backstory is, because of Brad Peary breaking his tib fib at Donington, he's still unfit. He should have been riding the Triumph, but obviously he can't ride, so they've had a couple of people in to ride it. They've got Ollie Bayliss now for the rest of the season. Bear in mind, he's done a little bit of British Supersport before, but not Knockhill.
Yes, so, seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, he went to a track day and did 2 sessions on a road bike 2 weeks previously, which isn't a lot. And the weird thing about Knockhill is, you'll look at it in plan form, right? You look at a map, you think, well, there's 6 corners, right?
Yes.
How hard can it be? You can learn the shape within 1 session, within 15 minutes. But to know where the camber is, where you can go quick, where the grip is, how to jump over the curbs on that chicane, there's so much sort of nuance in it to go quick that it takes more learning to go at the front of a championship race than it does at a lot of places that you would think would be more complicated. Ollie Bayliss has learnt it in 2 sessions on a track day with a lot of road riders.
James, sorry.
You all right? Do we need the Heimlich manoeuvre? Does anybody know it? Is that sandwich? So Ollie Bayliss learnt what is really quite a complex circuit to go quick on almost instantly. 3rd in the first Supersport race and then won and pretty much trounced everybody. I've never seen between turn 1 and turn 2. What happens when you can ride a bike, right? But when you get to the limit, when you've got a chicane, and that is basically a downhill and then flattening chicane, right? Chicane, you go from one way to the other and you ask the bike to do it by the input. You sort of oversteer it and that'll throw the bike over. But as the bike acts like an upside down pendulum, if you like, a weight swinging over, it unloads the suspension, then loads it back up.
Yes.
As the centrifugal force of the tyres come onto
Especially
it.
down that short, sharp hill.
I have never seen anybody changing direction so hard down there that actually wheelies. You've seen bikes wheelie through chicanes, right? Because that's the change of direction. You go in and then through, like Aston chicane.
Yes.
But I've never seen anybody do it there, and he was getting a sort of 6-inch wheelie.
But you were mentioning constantly in commentary how he was giving himself that extra foot across slightly off the curb on that exit onto the back, that he was giving himself just that little safety measure
because
there.
it's so blind. You come up to that chicane, right? Second gear, pretty quick. You'll be doing sort of, 80, 90 miles an hour, and you can't see where you've got to land. And if you land on the curb, it sticks up about this much. And we've seen people have big crashes there.
Yes.
So obviously, the blue bit that you can use that isn't the tarmac before the curb starts, the good riders were landing Jack Kennedy right within 2 inches of the bit you can't land on.
Yes.
And Ollie was giving himself a foot, which was obviously costing him a little bit of time towards Clark's on that bottom straight. But that's just
not round the whole lap, it wasn't.
No, it's fantastic, wasn't it? Just brilliant. Really enjoyed the way he goes about his racing. He's so laid back. Just looks like his mum and his dad.
Yes.
Right, when you look at him. But Dad was a bit more intense, sat on a grid than Ollie was. But clearly he's got a little bit of his, or quite a lot of his dad's metal, hasn't he? Brilliant, really good to see. And he's riding every round that's left except for one that clashes with a World Supersport round.
So he'll be at Snetterton?
He'll be at Snetterton.
Okay.
He'll be at Snetterton.
Which, of course, is where you're moving on to next.
Yep.
And presumably it'll suit the Ducatis and the Bimotors possibly rather better than Knockhill did. Well, actually, Knockhill suited the Ducatis very well. But I think they'll be even happier.
I think we've seen from what's happened at Alton Park and now Knockhill has sort of reinforced my view that the Ducati is going to be a reasonably good bike everywhere.
Yes.
Right? It's almost moved the goalpost a little, raised the bar slightly of what is possible. That makes you feel really sorry for Yamaha and Honda riders but
Yes.
that's just how it's gone.
Yeah.
The other really good bike in this championship that we've seen, especially at Donington and Alton, is the Bermotor. But I didn't think the Bermotor would go really well at Knockhill. The Bermotor's been designed specifically around constant radius, constant camber, World Championship, circuits and corners, which Knockhill isn't. There's not a constant radius, there's not a corner without elevation. Some have really bad camber, some have really good camber. So I thought it might struggle a little bit. It didn't struggle. I mean, I think Max he had a fourth and was not robbed, because he rode pretty well, by Storm Stacey to be put back into fifth. Fifth position, not bad in British Championship at the minute. I do, however, think the Bermotor is going to really suit places like Snetterton, where we're going next, where it's more of a continental feel. Flat, little bit of camber and constant radius. And I think that's going to be brilliant. I think that's going to be really good for Max and Joe.
What about what went on in World Superbikes? Obviously, Mr. Bulliger is doing all the winning.
What went on in World Superbike? You don't even need to watch to suss that out, do you?
25th consecutive race win.
Yeah.
21 out of 21 race wins so far this season. 17th consecutive Aruba 1-2, and a 17th consecutive second place for Ika Lekuona. The Brits had a rather tough run, although Alex Lowe's got a fourth place in race 2, and Taz McKenzie was fifth behind him.
I thought brilliant ride from Taz. I think Taz is really finding his feet. I think he believes he should be in that championship now and in that paddock. Obviously, what's helping, he's got a customer, Ducati Corsa.
Yeah.
But actually, when you look at that bike and how it performs, that's a customer Corsa with a decent team is probably better than everything else on track except a factory Ducati.
Yeah.
Maybe close with a Bermotor as well on those kind of circuits. He's paid his dues. He's been in there 3 years now, and I think he deserves to be on that bike, and I think he's starting to make it work. Not everywhere, it's coming slowly, but I'm dead pleased for Taz.
It means Alex Lowe's has moved into fourth. In fact, both him and Montella have moved past Sam Lowe's in the World Championship.
Sam just falls off a little bit.
Yes.
And that's, you know, we love the Lowe's, they're brilliant people. We're going to try and get them in here because it's flipping great fun. It's difficult because, they're so busy at the minute. But, Sam's, they try hard, don't they? They try us.
Yes. And in Supersport, quite a good round for Tom Booth Amos. Got a fourth place finish in the first race. Behind De Bees, once again, on that Chinese motorcycle.
Yeah.
Race 2, TBA got second place behind Arenas.
Yep. There's no doubt. Well, how long have we known that Tom Booth Amos can ride a motorbike properly? He's shown that for years now. A little bit more consistency needed, but for me, he is World Championship proper front running material in terms of riding a motorbike. Very, very good.
And he's moved up to top 6 in the World Championship.
Yep. But that's where he should be. He'd be disappointed at that, I'll tell you.
And De Bees he's second in the moved up to second in the championship, but he is 56 points behind Arenas. So it's a big gap, isn't it?
To me, the impressive thing about that is a Chinese motorcycle. We all know how good the Chinese are at developing quickly, and they've got involved with the Evan Bros.
Evan Bros.
Yeah. Team who arguably be the best at running a Supersport team. No stone unturned, they know how to develop a bike. But you couldn't develop that into a World Championship winning bike. You need the material to start with. Within the rules, you can't alter everything. So if it's got a weak link, it's going to stay a weak link. So the fact that the bike has developed into a winning bike as rapidly as it has, no matter who's running it, is unbelievably impressive. Just the materials technology and the flipping, you can't, this is World Championship racing, you can't just knock a bike together and go and run up front of a championship, but it's super impressive.
Talking about knocking a bike or a team together, the Peter Hickman boys are doing quite well in sport bike.
Yes, and deservedly so.
Yes, and Fenton Seabright got another third place rather in race 2.
Yep, deserved. Fenton Seabright
is now within the top 10 in the championship.
Yeah, they're both really good riders. They can ride. The reason they haven't been doing this all year, is because they've had such bad luck. They've had a real load of bad luck. Got involved in accidents that weren't their fault. They've had tons of bad luck. So
they've actually that race 1 victory for Irachi. Oh, Irachi, gosh, he was in.
Yeah,
he was in the small classes in the Italian Superbike
when you were
Championship
commentating
series
on it.
when I was commentating on it. Gosh, he became the eighth different winner in 10 races.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good spread.
Yeah, it is. But one of the reasons is, especially on the longer circuits, you know how important with the less power you got, more slipstreaming is involved, the more likely you're going to get different winners. You always get that pack of 4 or 5, 6 sometimes together because the slipstreaming keeps these packs. It's difficult to get away, so that's always going to promote different winners. That's brilliant racing, though. Been a good championship.
And another podium finish for Chloe Jones as well.
Yeah.
Glad to see her getting in the mix a bit again.
Yeah, I think she struggled with the team a little bit, struggled for a little bit of confidence. What we saw at the end of last year, we expected, and I think Chloe expected, to be a little bit near the sharp end.
Yeah. So. And of course, all these Brits will be rather keen to do well at the next round of World Superbikes at Donington Park.
Yep.
One of our favourite commentary establishments in World Supers.
And it's a traditional World Superbike round. We've seen. The only disappointing thing for me is the fact that we don't get any proper wildcards that can go and win, which we used to get.
Yes.
I know the rules have changed, right? But we used to get wildcards running right at the front of that one. But it's going to be brilliant anyway. Yeah. And we've got enough Brits in there now to.
Yes. A handy number.
Yeah.
Did you see any MotoGP at the weekend?
Didn't see much of it. I saw the end of what looked like a fantastic Moto2 race, but I didn't see much of it. No. When I get a weekend off, Jack.
Yes, you prefer to stay away from. Well, I got kind of sucked into it slightly myself watching the MotoGP stuff, and I Agura getting the first win for a Japanese rider in MotoGP for 22 years, was it?
Since
Tamada? Yeah, he was really impressive, mate. He ate up the leaders, and Jorge Martin and Raul Fernandez in brilliant style. Bezzecchi had a horrible crash on the second lap. You know where Alex Lowe's had a bit of a coming together with Shaky during his championship winning year.
Yeah, end of the back straight there.
Yeah, and he went down on his own there, lost the front. Whoa, that was huge. Fast there. Fast fall. So he was carted off to Groningen Hospital, which we know Groningen well, but not the hospital, fortunately.
Yeah, well, it's right across the road from NH Hotel where we stop, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. That lovely big grand hospital. Yeah. I thought Marco Bezzecchi was really hard done by the round before when he was actually disqualified from racing altogether after that little altercation with the Marshal. I thought that was a really heavy penalty for a guy who was leading the World Championship.
Right. So opinion is really divided on this, right?
Yeah.
First thing I'll say is, as a caveat to what I'm going to say, you can't go around striking people in sport. Unless it's boxing or MMA.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go hitting people. Especially marshals, who I don't know what the system is at MotoGP, but for the most part, marshals, even up to high national level, are volunteers.
Yes.
And you're not running without them. You've got to thank them for everything they do. However...
Did you once have an altercation with a marshal?
I did, yeah.
In the heat of the moment?
Yeah, this is what I'm going to say. So, what you've got to understand is that when you are in the moment, you're not thinking... I'm not going to say you're not thinking straight. You're so hyper aware of what you're doing, but you're so full of adrenaline and full of flipping go that sometimes you do things that you would never even think about.
Yes.
I'm the least aggressive and likely person to hit anybody by a marshal. And I don't even know why. I do know why, because he wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do at that point. But he was doing it for reasons of safety, and I was in the moment. I wanted to get back on my bike, and that's where it, that's what happened. And I've seen it happen quite a lot, where people are that into what they're doing, and they don't want anybody to stop them. However, what I'd say about Bezzecchi is he didn't seem to want to get back on the bike. He didn't seem to be in the moment. He got up quite relaxed. He wasn't rushing and trying to get the bike with himself.
But he was a bit upset at the fact that it was being over-revved.
Right, so what I'd say about that is, these bikes, by law, by regulation, have to have a mercury switch, right?
Yeah.
When the bike falls over, it's got to stop.
Yes.
You can't have it revving it. Bike goes in the gravel, pulls a flipping, it's not even a throttle cable now because it's electronic, bashes the potentiometer for the throttle, thing revs its guts off, Marshal falls in the wheel, there's obviously potential. So it's got to stop when it goes on its side. So I would say it wasn't the Marshal's fault that the bike didn't stop.
Right.
He's trying to pick it up, inadvertently got hold of the throttle, revved it a little bit. So Bez thought it was out of order and kind of backhanded him, then went back and did it again even harder. So I don't know. But as a rider, you kind of fueled up.
And he did go back the next day and hug the guy and apologise.
That always happens. I got hauled up to I ate this little French, which...
Where was it?
Le Mans.
French Grand Prix?
No, 24 hour. I was really keen on getting back on my bike to get back.
Right, yes.
He was keen on getting to the side of the track and putting me onto the... It was my fault because I thought I had to get back on the track, and if I got off the track, I'd be disqualified.
Okay.
I also was told by my team manager, although there was a bit of a language barrier, that I had to not let anybody touch the bike under any circumstances. Any outside help, you're banned, right? You're excluded.
Oh, right.
So I thought this man was going to get me excluded. I didn't know the marshal was allowed to get it off the track at a point no further forward round the lap than what you'd crashed at.
Yes.
And then you could get it back on the however you wanted.
Right.
Under your own steam. So I was misinformed or didn't listen, right? Probably. So I was trying to get the marshal from touching my bike. So I whacked him, picked it up, got the ailing with flat tyres and everything back. And it wasn't until after the race that I realised that I didn't have to do any of that. I didn't have to I could have let him get off the track.
Yeah.
So I got hauled up to a FM panel. It was like a Judge Pickles. It was like, yes, guilty, get out. And I got ordered to pay 500 Swiss francs, right, about 250 quid, and had to apologise to the marshal, who was just brilliant. Just brilliant. It was like entente cordial. It was like he was hugging me, I was hugging him. He cried a bit, I cried a bit. I hit him again, obviously. No, I didn't. No, good bloke. But what I'm saying is, it's difficult for people to understand, heat of the moment stuff.
The next thing we've got coming up is our most popular item, or one of our most popular items, our Prezza Q&A.
Prezza Q&A, powered by LS2 helmets.
A question from Andrew Walker. Hello, Jack and James. I love this. I am still enjoying the show, so keep up the good work. Thank you, Andrew. I hope you still keep enjoying it for a while yet. A question for James. This is quite a long one, James. Now, are you concentrating?
Yeah, go on.
A question for James. Towards the end of the 1992 season, both you and Carl Fogarty were in discussions to ride for a new team in 500cc Grand Prix for the 1993 season. Mick Grant was also approached to run the team as the manager.
Yep.
As I recall, a pair of Harris YZR 500 bikes were sourced, and you both rode them at the end of season Macau Grand Prix, end of 1992.
Yep.
That was the only race you and Carl did on them, and the team never progressed any further. My recollection is that the guy behind it all was a bit of a dreamer, and he made a lot of promises but never provided any money and quietly disappeared. Did you, and then in bold letters, did you or Carl ever hear from him again?
Right, so all that story's right. Guy appeared halfway through 1992, and it was, can I say his name?
Yeah.
I think he's in jail.
Oh, is he?
He's unlikely to see you then.
Right then. A guy called John Stratton arrived in a flash car, looking flash, talking flash, nice fella to talk to.
Yeah.
approached us throughout the season a couple of times. Came to watch a few British Championship races. Carl was doing rather well on his own bike in World Superbike at that time. Got his first win at Donington on his own bike. I was doing reasonably in British Championship, but not on the best bike. He came up, it progressed to meetings at Mick Grant's house. Mick were going to run this team. They put an order in for 2 brand new Harris 500 Yamahas. And we were doing MotoGP, and we were going to have brand new BMW cars each, and we were going to have this and that and loads of money, and everybody were going to be happy. And we were all set on, and we were going to do Macau Grand Prix in the first colours, but because he hadn't paid any money at that point.
Yes.
But he'd committed to us doing Macau Grand Prix and the following year's GP season. So getting close to Macau Grand Prix, when the bikes have to be created up and sent off, no money forthcoming, still telling us stories, and, you know, the money's coming through, it's just a matter of, you know, it's this and it's that, and excuses. And we wanted to believe it that much that we should have smelt a rat at this point, but we didn't. Harris and Padgett said they would pay for the bikes, they would use their own bikes with this new Royal Express credit card colours, green and silver with a prancing horse, brilliant. Off we went, did Macau Grand Prix on the older bikes but with the new bodywork on. And then we got into the winter, we're going to have loads of time, he's going to come up with the money, we're going to have... Anyway, the money just never came. And it all just went away, just disappeared. Nobody heard of him again until we've got the news on one day. This is 6 months after, when I'm racing... Foggy's in World Superbike on a factory Ducati. I am riding a fast orange Yamaha in British Championship with Rob Mark.
Yeah. Andrew actually says, thankfully, you still managed to source a BSB ride for 1993, and Carl got the factory Ducati ride in World
Correct,
Supers.
he's well informed. So the next time and last time I ever saw John Stratton, it was being led from a police van into court in a massive embezzlement, banking kind of con, working it had somewhere between money that was coming from the Far East, Hong Kong, so I don't know what it was, some financial impropriety, and he went to jail, and that was it. And we never got our BMW.
So so you were right, quite right, Andrew, about that.
It's weird how racing attracts some odd people sometimes. Yeah, it's a weird one.
A question from Aidan TL0103. Love the show, lads. Question for both of you. In your experience, both racing and commentating, do sponsors prefer an absolute walkover with their guy leading by 10 seconds? Or do they prefer a good fight with lots of screen time and potentially a worse result? I've never really thought about that.
Good question, actually. I think...
I would have thought the latter. Wouldn't you have said the latter? Because we often lose the leaders for periods of time when they're out on their own.
If they cleared off on their own and they're 10 seconds in front, you never see them until, going over the line.
That's right.
I think it depends. The bigger question would be the reason why the sponsor got involved in the first place. And still, to this day, a lot of sponsors in British Superbike and up to that top national level are involved because they're mates.
Yes.
Right? It's... a wealthy friend of the dad of the guy who's riding the bike or whatever it is.
Yes.
So for that, what they want is they don't really, are they going to sell another,
chemist
car
shop
tyre?
or something.
Whatever their business is.
Yeah.
Probably not for most of them. So they would rather see their man winning on a personal level.
Yes.
Right? Not a commercial level.
Yes.
But I think the higher you get and the more... commercial it gets, if you like, then they would want airtime, I think, and mentions from the commentary team.
The last of the question actually says, have you ever had a sponsor ask for a name drop during commentary, or is that not on? I don't think anybody ever...
we have. Absolutely 100%. I've definitely had riders come up to me and say, look, I've got this new sponsor on board.
Okay.
He's coming on for one round, but if we can make it look good, we can... And you'll try and help them if you can. And I mean, to be honest, my commentating style is, I'm a pundit, right? I'm only there because I raced bikes once upon a time. It's your job. I steer away from the...
What I do remember is I got backing for the 10 Carter brothers to get Carl Muggeridge to Brands Hatch for the last round of 2000 in World Supersport on that lovely yellow
Honda,
which I think he won on, didn't he?
He won. I was third, wasn't I? It was a real close finish. Yeah.
I just remembered I managed to get a ferry company involved. God knows how. I think I must have just asked for it, but that wasn't requested from them. They just said, we don't know where
they're coming.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing. I think a commercial sponsor who's not necessarily interested in motorcycle racing, just sees it as a vehicle for his company to sell more, whatever they're selling, would probably prefer a race that's close and lots of mentions for their company and their man.
Oh, he also adds, no one asked, but my favourite BSB livery, Danny Kent's McCam's Yamaha, white bike amongst all the black and dark blue bikes, plus the white leathers looked like a full factory World Superbike, stood out everywhere at any speed.
Yeah, and the point about the liveries...
But Danny's quite a little fella, so it doesn't make him look stout, the white leathers.
No, but the point about liveries is, it doesn't really matter what it is as long as it's different to everybody else's.
Yes.
They can all become kind of much of.
Hence the wonderful following for Josh Brooks and his outfit on the island.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Aidan. Thanks, Aidan. Philip Barnes says, hi, gents. Absolutely love the podcast, my entertainment when doing deliveries. So it's a question for Jack. Sorry. My hero when growing up was the 1981 250 World Motocross champion Neil Hodgson. Do you have any memories with Neil, and do you think he got the recognition he deserved for winning the 250 title? Do you know what, Philip? No, he didn't, because he was such a quiet, reserved bloke. I think it bothers him more nowadays that he still doesn't seem to get quite the recognition he deserved all these years afterwards. I've got a lot of lovely memories of him. I remember when I was allowed to stay in his camper van overnight on the Saturday night at the US 250 GP at Unadilla in 1981, the first time I'd gone. And they kind of smirked at me as if they knew something I didn't, and they went off to their hotel. And the place was in absolute uproar. They fire torched the public toilets across the road because there was a main road that passed by between the track and the whole campsite. They were driving pickup trucks through the big lake. And it was just absolute. There was the smell of dope everywhere. It was absolute bedlam going on there. I don't think I'd ever been so frightened in all my life. And I wasn't. The camper van couldn't stay in the rider's paddock. It had to be driven what felt like dangerously close to where all this mayhem was going on. But anyway, yes, it was quite an exciting night, but not quite what I'd anticipated. And one other great memory I can think of course, is, if you remember, he was in the final race of the year when he was still behind Joe Bay, who was riding with a nasty elbow injury. Neil got taken out by another Suzuki in the first turn of that final race. Was it at Appledorn? And he was absolutely dead last. It looks like his championship chances were gone. But Graham Noyce was there, and it was Noyce who started boarding him. Typical Noyce, dressed in kind of flip-flops in his summer gear, and he was sticking out a board to Nelly. And I said, "What did you put on it?" He said, "Don't panic, just don't panic." And Nelly rode all the way through the field till he reached 6th or 7th place, which was good enough to get the points, to grab the championship eventually by 3 points. And that was thrilling stuff. It still makes me get goose flesh now. That was a very exciting afternoon, and that was what won him the World Championship. It was great.
What's he doing now?
He works. Oh, is he still working? Has he retired? He was at the recent classic show at Stafford. He and his brother Gary selling odd stuff on a stand. Isn't it amazing how world champions somehow end up doing stuff like Peter Collins was there doing the same thing? Yeah, trying to flog an old Bultaco Trials bike, but Nelly was working for many years as a mechanic on trucks and buses
Right.
And, you know, he only just happened to, after he'd been there quite a while, to drop in the world champion thing. And everybody's like, really? We never knew that. You've never said anything about that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, an amazing character. But beautiful, smooth rider, really stylish rider. A question from Dan Chesters. Best technical innovation stroke cheats that were found out and banned after discovery? Question mark.
Oh, God, there's been loads. So many flipping trick cheats. In the old days, right, back behind you, I remember this happening. Obviously, the easiest cheat for anybody is to, in the old days, you can't really do it now, but the easiest cheat in the old days were overbore your bike. So going to enter a 250 race with a 300 or a, you know, you bore it out, you make it bigger. There's been some big examples of that. Rob Mack put and others, allegedly, have put bigger engines in. They put a 1 litre in a 750 chassis. That's been done before.
I remember you being offended at Kawasaki taking away. You lost the British Championship you'd won the year before against a suspiciously rapid Kawasaki.
I was passed by a horrendously fast Kawasaki and brought into question the validity of the... Yeah, it was... But motorcycle racing is not like car racing where they throw... they protest each other the whole time. Well, you've got to put quite a chunk of money in to protest. They don't have it done willy-nilly. But motorcycle racing, it's more of a sort of brotherhood than that somehow.
Yes,
you know, it's just frowned upon. But there has been some fairly, enthusiastic and artistic representation of the rules that are not necessarily out-and-out cheats, but one of the Isle of Man's one of the places over the years, because the Isle of Man, especially with the F1 race, you're limited to 24 litres of fuel. So in the old days, when you weren't limited to fuel, people tried to... One of the reasons the limit for fuel came in was people tried, you know, they've been running a TZ750 that uses a horrendous amount of fuel, but they tried to do, 3 laps in a 6-lapper just to stop once instead of having to stop every 2 laps and stop twice. Clearly, you're going to save a minute and a half, might make the difference between that and a win. So there's people built, 7-gallon fuel tanks for a TZ750, and they sat on it like that, just peeping over the top. And I mean, when it was legal, people did that. Joy Dunlop, they created a massive tank for a TZ750 and did 3 laps. So they brought this rule in 24 litres. So, I mean, famously, Mick Grant had this tank that they were going to measure afterwards, right? So we had it built in such a way that he could, and he'll deny this, but this is the story, that he went over the line to win, and he was that excited, he punched the tank several times, and guess what? It held less than 24 litres with a big dint in it but there's been all sorts of stuff like that. Some of the, probably the best cheat/not cheat was, again, it's the TT and surrounding fuel. So Brian Reed was riding a 250 Yamaha in 93, 94-ish against a lot of Hondas, including Joy Dunlop factory Honda, Jim Moody factory Honda. These are RS 250s in the 250 junior race. Philip McCallan factory 250 Honda. And Yamaha read the rules. A guy called Adrian Marsh, fantastic, he's worked for me, brilliant, ex-rider. He read the rules and it said, the tank has to be filled up in the fuel stop, just 1 stop, 4-lap race, stop after 2, from the provided equipment. So in the pits, you've seen it at the Mile of Man, they've all got exactly the same, and it's random. You don't know what tank you're going to get. Some's a bit quicker than others, some leak a bit, some, it's fairly old equipment. So it says the tank has to be filled from the equipment provided. The rule is meant to stop people having the big dump tanks, because it'd be chaos. People would make their own dump tanks with fuel everywhere, fires. So that's what the rule said. So Eddie Marsh at Yamaha realised that on a 250 Yamaha like that, the tank fits under the frame at the front, and it's just a rubber strap at the back. Literally 5 seconds, strap off, tank out. If you get one of them dry joints where you push it in and it comes apart and no fuel comes out, call it a dry connector. You could probably have a full tank, an empty tank off and a brand new tank on full of fuel in 10, 15 seconds, no problem. But it took 40 seconds to fill a bike with the... So they went up at night, filmed everything, filling the hopper, filling the tank that was in a cardboard box, putting the top on the tank, doing that, covering it up with towels, closing the box, taking it away. In the fuel stop, they had this... So when they came in, took the tank off, new tank on, and he's away. And Philip McCallan panicked that much, he set off without a full tank and ran out. So that's probably the most creative interpretation of the rules. But there's been all sorts.
In the 1977 British 500 Motocross Grand Prix on a red hot day at Farley Castle, the CCMs were running oversized engines they were allowed to use in British Championship races. They were running 600s, 580 600s. John Bax and foaming Bob Wright. And they finished inside the top 6 and they had to have their engine measured afterwards.
Yeah.
And Bob Wright's mechanic, John Bainham, just refused. He just loaded the bike up and went. So Bob was disqualified from his 6th place in the first race. John Banks's mechanic, Dave Nicol, rather brighter chap, he agreed to have it. He agreed to let the FIM measure the engine, but somehow inadvertently someone had knocked the gear shift. Somebody had got knocked, and it kind of meant that the measurement was slightly wrong, and it came out at 450, and it was allowed to run in the second race, which John Banks led for a good deal of the time, and he eventually finished second. So they got away with it. Half got away with it.
Normally, when I've seen people cheating with a 750 GSX-R engine and a GSX-R 600 in Supersport, and you can generally tell because it sounds a bit different. And when they get picked up on it or somebody complains, they just say they either admit it or just say they're not stripping it. So they never actually, you can't really accuse them if they take the bike away and don't let it be stripped. But for whatever reason, but anyway, there's been a bit, but not as much as you think. There's a an esprit de corps where you don't, it's...
Yes.
You don't cheat.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Next up, Chris Foreman. Oh, what would you say is the worst stroke, your least favourite part of commentating? It seems effortless to you both, and it must be so rewarding, but every job has its downsides. It hasn't, to be honest.
No, good, wasn't it?
It was absolutely delightful, all of it, mate. I really loved doing the homework and the prep and all that stuff. I've got my studio it's just full of handwritten stuff. When
you say studio, do you mean attic or spare bedroom?
Attic.
Yeah, there you go.
And full of what you used to cheerfully call my clutter. Handwritten stuff, all sorts of stuff. And I just used to love all of it.
It was good travelling. We used to meet, when we were doing them World Superbike rounds, on his own, there was no crew, it was just me, you, a commentary booth and a flipping ISDN line. And we'd meet at the airport, and it used to really, people say the travelling's the shit bit, but we used to have a nice coffee in Manchester Airport and off we'd go.
You got your aeroplane magazines. I'd got my old DBR, Dirt Bike Riders, I was using as reference to write another story about, and we'd just be doing stuff, talking about stuff, reading stuff, and travelling together as well. That was lovely. Those road trips were good. So honestly, mate, there wasn't a downside to it, to be honest. It's dear old Harley Stevens again. Harley's back. Loving the show, and now we've had subtitles installed, I understand every word.
He's
Thanks, Al.
A Kent man.
A Kent man, yes. Coming from a Kent man with a regrowth of hair, I'll accept that. Question 1: if you could introduce one new class at BSB/WSBK, what would it be? And question 2: favourite ever BSB/WSBK rivalry? Thanks. My BSB/WSBK one, Harley, to be honest, would be the reintroduction of the junior super stock race. I really used to enjoy them. Lovely races.
The problem is that You can't do that now because not everybody, the problem now is the manufacturers, for a lot of reasons, political mainly, don't produce the bikes that
that used
kind
to
of fit
run
together.
Yeah.
So it'd end up a single make championship, which we have.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I would like to see. I don't know whether it'd work. They tried it in America some years ago. They called it Formula Extreme, I think, or something like that.
Yes.
And it was essentially, you can do whatever you want to the motors, right? You can do pretty much whatever. You can make them big power, but you have some limiting factor on the bike. I think they had tyres that were really restricted to size, and the problem with that is, so basically the lack of grip sort of negated the fact that you had a lot of power. The problem is there's a danger therein.
Yeah.
But I would like to see something where they have a lot of power, but maybe a restricted part on something else on the bike.
As regards favourite ever BSB WSBK rivalry, the one that never truly ran its course was Colin Edwards and Norrie Harger in 2000.
Yeah.
When Norrie should never have been docked points, and they would have arrived at Brands Hatch for the last round like 7 points apart.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a
cold
sensational. Yes, that would have been a sensational end.
Yeah, it would. Plus the fact it was on one of my favourite bikes ever, which is the Yamaha R7.
Yes.
It was just the last of the Japanese homologation specials.
And also, as a little extra to that, I think Colin Edwards always said that he'd love to have raced Carl Fogarty in 2000. So if Foggy hadn't had his career ending injury at Phillip Island, there would have been three of them locked in there together.
For me, Bayless Edwards would be World Superbike, and in British Superbike, probably Walker Hodgson, probably.
Okay.
That was quite nasty,
Yes.
Which sometimes it needs that.
Yes.
They didn't like each other.
No, that was
I think they do now. So
they did, because I had them on stage at the London Motorcycle Show a few years back, and they were round by round, and they really enjoyed one another's company.
Yeah.
Gerard Stephen, or Stephen Gerard, whichever you prefer. James, if you could have your time as a racer over again, what would you change and why?
Not much. Not much.
You've always said you were very happy with the way that your career went.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to.
I mean, it's easy sat here pretty much in one piece
Yes.
and say, I enjoyed it all. Obviously, there's bits you don't enjoy. I didn't enjoy breaking my legs and the other, pelvis and all that. The hospital time isn't brilliant, but I won't change much. I actually look back and I think, well, I could have done that a little bit better. I wouldn't have made that mistake there, but then it wouldn't have been what it was. And then I also look at it that there were probably people with quite a bit more talent than me that you've never heard of that didn't do much.
Yes.
Because they were unlucky.
Yes.
So I'd do it all again. Same.
Nice. Greg Wotton asks, what does leg waving actually do? Every rider I've asked gives a different question.
They give me the same different answers. I don't know.
Sorry, every rider I've ever asked gives a different answer.
So what it does, it definitely keeps you back in the seat a little bit when you're braking. But then again, you could do that with a tank pad. I've seen people put big tank pads on, stop them sliding forward and having the bike transfer more weight to the front. I don't know. I've no idea. There's some people still don't do it and seem to do reasonably well. If it were a massive advantage, I think that everybody would have to do it. But, nobody's ever explained it in a way convincingly that I can understand, no.
Right, folks, that's it. So next up is our Paddock PA.
Paddock PA. Powered by MotoFest. In association with MCN.
So a reminder, folks, YouTube members, for just $2.99 a month, you get early release, you get ad-free episodes, bonus content, behind-the-scene videos, shout out on joining in Paddock PA segments, priority Preza Q&A questions, a monthly draw, winner to watch the show live, link in podcast description to become a member. So our new YouTube member shout-outs go to Logan Thompson, to @LaKidMoto, Darren Corrie, at Hugh263, Johnny Bean, at Micah Y8B, at Mark McBride 5974, and Zoe Reagan. Thanks very much, guys.
Right, and we need to get a winner, don't we, for
Yes.
coming and watching next time. So I don't really know what I'm doing with this, but I'm told it's going to give me a name. It's spinning.
It's spinning.
David Gallagher. Well done, David. Don't know where you live, but you are welcome to come to Huddersfield International. If you've got a plane, you can fly in. I'm on the 21st of this month, July. And you say where he can get, he's got to email us now to
The Outside Line Podcast at gmail.com.
Perfect.
So
That's
do that,
David
David.
Gallagher. Well done.
We look forward to seeing you, David.
Brilliant. We provide the sandwiches.
If you're enjoying the podcast but don't want to become a paying YouTube member, we'd really appreciate your showing your support by hitting the subscribe button. Completely free, and you'll be notified every time a new episode goes live, and it makes a huge difference in helping us to grow the channel. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, of course, LS2 helmets, Roadskin motorcycle wear, all on display here, Metzler tyres with our
could have to Sprout
beautiful
it.
sleeping security dog, Sprouty.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's you, Sprout. Well done, mate. So this month,
Yeah.
it is
24th, 25th, 26th of July, Anglesey MotoFest, round of the World Trials Championship, loads of other stuff going on. We've explained to you loads of time what that is about. Still tickets available. That's going to be a good weekend. That's a brilliant circuit.
all right, folks. So if we don't speak to you before then enjoy yourself at MotoFest and whatever else you plan to do in the meantime, including Donington Park World Supers or Snetterton BSB next time out. Thank you very much for your company.
Cheers, Jack.
See you
See
next
ya.
time.